Welcome to Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Wendy's. We're at Phil Datka Stadium, live in Germantown, as the Homestead Highlanders take on the Germantown Warhawks. Hi, my name is Mike McGivern. I'm with Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. I'm here with the two head coaches tonight, Coach Dave Keel from Homestead and Jake Davis from Germantown. Coach Keel, let's start with you. You know, it's been an awfully good year for you guys, again in the conference. A little bit about this rivalry game with Germantown. Guys talk about rivalry games, and I just think that this is the one in North Shore that is a true rivalry game.
Germantown's a great football program, and they haven't missed a beat. Phil retired, and Jake's taken over, and he's doing a heck of a good job. And anytime you get to play a good football team like Germantown that's as well coached as Germantown is, it's an honor. It's a good honor, and hopefully the rain will hold off, and we'll see a good football game tonight.
Excellent. I agree with you, Jake. You know, you've got quite a view of this rivalry game. You played at Homestead, coaching at Germantown. I think you understand better than most what this game means to these schools.
Absolutely. It's a great opportunity for kids to get memories, and that's what I'm saying. It's a great game. I got lots of memories as a player. I got memories as a coaches, and I want to create those for kids on both sides. So it's going to be a great game, exciting. Lots of memories we had. So,
you know, Dave, I had you in the studio on Saturday, and we don't talk much about this winning streak that you guys have, but I need to bring it up only because you know what? As a coach, you know that you are always the hunted at this point. As we talked on Saturday, each team is different, and you just go game by game, and I understand that. I truly believe that. This team has really responded well to any of that. They just look to their next opponent and play.
They do. We've had some very good football games this year, played a good Waterford team and got beat early. Every game is important in our league. I mean, we have a great league. Whitefish Bay is a good football team. Cedarburg's a good team. Milwaukee Lutheran's got an outstanding team. Heck, we haven't won a football game this week. We got nothing yet this week. So, I mean, it's just like Jake, this is the game, and, you know, this is what you point to. And kids got to get up every week in our league because the North Shore Conference is one heck of a good football conference.
Yeah, you know what, Dave? I agree with that. It is a football conference. The basketball is nipping at your heels a little bit. It's a great basketball conference as well, but certainly football tonight is what we're talking about. With Germantown, you guys have not missed a beat. First-year coach, certainly congratulations with that. Not hard to get your kids up for this game.
no, it's not hard at all. And the kids have worked real hard in the off season, you know, through the summer workouts. In the beginning and 2 days, they've done a great job, and you know they've been an outstanding team for me as a first-year head coach. I'm real proud of the guys.
Excellent. Guys, shake hands. I'll get you back to your teams. Good luck. Hey, these two guys have known each other a long time. Go ahead, boys. Get back to your team. You bet. These guys know each other a long time. This could be a heck of a football game. We're going to get to a break. Other side of the break, I'm going to get you over to John Weiser and Dick Basham for keys of the game. This is the Thursday Night Lights High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Wendy's.
Datka Stadium, everyone. John Weiser and Dick Basham with you, set to bring you tonight's Week 9 version of Thursday Night Lights. Germantown against Homestead. A big rivalry game, Dick. We talked about this before our broadcast here tonight. I think it's one of the biggest rivalries in southeast Wisconsin.
Well, I think you're right. North Shore Conference is a strong conference this year, and these are two of the better teams. And they're a really good match. Both of them have outstanding quarterbacks who are very athletic. They run well. They throw well. They've got good receivers, good running backs. The only difference you're going to see with these two teams, they don't have the big linemen that they usually have. They're a little more athletic in the line, rangier kids, and they're both strong on defense. They're both about 50% pass, 50% run. So the rain has gone away. I think it's going to be a good night for a good game.
I don't think we've ever run into two teams that are statistically almost equal in both offense and defense and what they do on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, and I think it varies a little bit from game to game depending on what they're getting from the other team. They have the ability to throw to win. They have the ability to run the football to win. And when you have a team like that, that makes you a strong football team because you can deal with almost any situation that shows up.
Almost got a situation tonight. We saw, Mike, with the two coaches. You've got the teacher and the student going at each other here tonight.
Well, that's true. Jake Davis played at Homestead in the late 90s into the early 2000s. He started as a freshman late in his freshman year and then played 3 years after that. Then went to Whitewater, played for a Hall of Fame coach there, coached with Phil Datka for 3 years, another Hall of Fame coach. So he's got a lot of good background. I think he'll give Dave Keel a good run for his money tonight.
Take a look at our leaderboard here tonight. And first off, for Homestead, really an outstanding quarterback. One of the best, I think, in Southeast Wisconsin, and Cody Berger.
Well, Cody Berger has been playing for 3 years, and he's an outstanding athlete. He's a scholar athlete tonight for Homestead. He can beat you with his feet. He can beat you with his arm. He has good receivers. He's completed 57% of his passes this year for over 1,500 yards, and he's having a great season.
Talking with Dave Keel before the ball game, and a lot of pressure put on that linebacker, Xavier Crumpton.
Well, Xavier Crumpton, number 48, is a 2-year starter, played quite a bit on special teams as a sophomore. He's probably one of the best athletes on their team. He's about 5'11", 180, 85 pounds, and very fast. He's a sprinter on the track team, and Coach Keel says if he can get pressure on the quarterback tonight, he thinks that'll help Homestead have a successful game.
For Germantown, they've got a couple of outstanding players, also a great quarterback in Josh Mongan. He's been around quite a while, too.
Well, Josh Mongan has been playing for 3 years. He's been the starting point guard since his freshman year, so it shows you what kind of an athlete he is. Last year, he split time with the senior, but into the playoffs, he became the starting quarterback in the Level 3 game against Marquette and played the entire game and almost brought him back to win that game. This year, again, he's throwing the ball very well. He's got good running backs in Alec Richmond, so it's going to be a good night for him as well.
Ben Holcomb, who plays strong safety, but I'll tell you what, he hits like a linebacker.
Well, he was a free safety last year, and he was up on the line of scrimmage a lot. This year, they moved him up closer to the line of scrimmage. He's the strong safety, so he'll be on the strong side of the formation. But he's having a great year. He's also their best wide receiver, so he tells you what kind of an athlete he is. But he's got 51 tackles. He's got 5 tackles for a loss. He's got 2 interceptions, and he's going to be everywhere in the field tonight. I expect to be calling his name a lot.
Our leaderboard tonight brought to you by Wisconsin Lutheran College, academic excellence, Christian leadership. Time now for our keys to the game.
Well, the keys to the game, I think, for Homestead, they have very good running back, so they need to establish that multi-dimensional running game. And then I think they need to blitz Germantown a little bit to get pressure on that offense. And I think they need to win the turnover battle tonight. For Germantown, I think they need to be unpredictable on offense, need to use their quarterback skills, tackle well on defense. I think they need to get at least one big play on special teams tonight.
Germantown hosting Homestead. Kickoff coming up next. Thursday Night Lights presented by Wendy's. Detka Stadium in Germantown tonight, site of our Thursday Night Lights, week number 9, as Homestead will take on Germantown tonight in a North Shore clash to wrap up the regular season. And the rain has subsided here for the moment. The wind has picked up a little bit. It'll be a crosswind kind of out of a west to east here, and that flag is going to be stretched out by the time our football game is over with here tonight. Temperatures expected to drop into the low 50s, maybe even the upper 40s before it's all said and done. But had a heavy shower move through here around about an hour, 20 minutes ago. And now it's just cooling off and the breeze picking up.
Just enough to settle the dust, I'd say.
Right now we're going to honor America, the Wisconsin National Guard making their way across the 40-yard line, and the Germantown High School Choir with our national anthem. Well, it's just a little bit hard to hear them, but the Germantown High School Choir did an outstanding job with our national anthem here tonight. North Shore Clash here. Homestead trying to keep that string going. Dick, what's that? I think there's a whole new generation of kids that have grown up not knowing if Homestead has ever lost a North Shore Conference game.
They the last time they lost was early, might have been the first game of the 2002 season. It's been almost 10 years since they lost a conference game. That is really unheard of. And tonight and last year, Germantown had them on the ropes at the end of the game and didn't score. And went into overtime, I think it was, and they Homestead won it. Then they came back in 2 weeks and beat them in the playoffs. So I think there's it could be a similar type situation tonight. Both these teams are very well matched, as we said in the warm-up.
As I recall, it was a field goal with about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter that put Homestead up 17-10, right. And then Germantown took that kickoff and marched it right down the field, right down to the final seconds, and just simply ran out of time, ran out of timeouts, and came up short just at the goal line.
Exactly.
That would have the touchdown and obviously the kick for the extra point of the two-point conversion, and that string might have been history. But Homestead suffering a loss at home earlier this year to an outstanding Waterford team.
Right.
Waterford on the cusp of winning a Southern Lakes Conference. They've got to get past Lake Geneva Badger tomorrow night.
Well, I asked Dave Keel, who at practice this week, who was the best team that they had seen this year, and he said he thought it was Waterford. And Waterford was bigger than they were. This is not a big Homestead team. They've been known to have some good-sized linemen. The same thing for Germantown. They don't have the real big linemen on offense, but they do have a lot of speed, and that speed kills, as they say.
Chasen Brown standing deep. He's returned a touchdown once already this year, returned a kick for a touchdown once already this year, and they will line drive it into the turf. And this will actually be picked up by Danny Studer, and Studer takes it out across the 20 out to the 24-yard line.
Now they kick the ball on the ground to get it wet, I think, just to make it hard to handle.
Exactly right. Sorry about that. That was Alec Richmond back there on the return for Germantown. So the Warhawks will get the football working right to left in the dark jerseys here tonight. Josh Mongan, their quarterback, we talked about it. 15 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions this year for the senior.
Yeah, he's completed almost 70% of his passes. That's a pretty high rate.
Richmond in the backfield. And the give is to Richmond. Breaks it up the middle, big hole. Look out, on the loose is Richmond across midfield. He may take it all the way. Richmond with some traffic to clear. He will. He'll take it in for the touchdown.
Whoa.
76-yard run on the first play from scrimmage, and Germantown Lightning has struck here at Dotka Field.
Well, there's a straight-ahead play, and he just broke this into the secondary. And he has good speed. He played last year as well as a running back, so this is not unusual for him. And nobody could get the angle. He cut back on the one guy who did. So that was a great run, great way to start the game for Germantown.
D'Angelo Danzler was the last man to get a piece of Richmond but could not bring him in. And so Germantown on the first play from scrimmage leads it 6-0. Adam Mucha to check on the extra point. Sebastian Fisher on the snap. Tyler Pulskill on the hold, and it is good, and it's a 7-0 lead for Germantown.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, my philosophy as a coach on this was if you're going to let somebody have a long run, you might as well let them do it early in the game because you got the rest of the game to recover, and I'm sure that Homestead will not panic at all. They'll be discussing how that happened, but they don't need to panic, that's for sure, because there's a long ways to go yet.
Well, obviously, if you're Germantown here, you know if you get a win, no worse could get a piece of a conference title here. And
exactly.
We're talking with both coaches before the ball game here tonight. The WIAA expects to have all of the playoff pairings done by Saturday morning, with the Division I coming out sometime between 9:30 and 10 o'clock Saturday morning. So very important game here for Germantown tonight if they can get that win. Jabri Washington and Shaquille Cole will stand deep.
Both of them are capable of taking it all the way back themselves, so we'll see if they kick it deep or kick it on the ground and get the ball wet so it's harder to handle.
And again, they'll keep it low, and it skips around. And going down with it immediately. Back there on the return, that was actually Riley Pelisek, the 6-foot, 190-pound running back, a junior. And because he went down to the turf immediately, he is down. And so that's where Homestead will start at their own 15-yard line for their first play from scrimmage.
Well, Riley's a free safety, and he's used to handling the ball. He just got his feet a little bit tangled up and couldn't get his balance back. And when you're in high school, when you're down, you're down. You can't get up.
Well, let's see what Cody Berger, the senior at quarterback, he'll duck in under center. They'll break off the backfield, actually empty it out here. They'll go with trips here to the near side, 2 receivers to the far side. From his own 15-yard line, Berger wants to throw left and nearly got it picked off. Take a look at the offensive line here for Homestead.
Muzu, Benversi, Shears, and the right tackle can't play both positions there. The backs are Shepard, Lyon, and Schneider, Cole, and Easterling. Backs and receivers. Easterling is their lead runner.
2nd down and 10 from the 15. Berger under center, this time with a single back in the backfield.
That's Easterling.
Easterling with the carry, and he gets it across the 15, maybe the 17 for a pickup of 2. Joe Kretlow making the stop as we set the defense.
Defensive line, Chasen Brown, Courtney Fretchel, Knippen, and Kretlow. And then Fisher and Olson are the linebackers, with Brian Hunter, Ben Holcomb, and Louis Tuschinski, who's also the wide receiver, and Tyler Paulskill are the DBs.
Our starting lineup's brought to you by MRZ Promotions, the Midwest premier promotional company. Need swag? Go to needswag.com. 3rd down. We'll call it 8 here for Homestead. Ball at the 17-yard line. Berger wants to throw left again. That same play there on a little slant route. The catch is made across the 25, close to a 1st down, as Steven Shepard made the sliding catch. Tyler Thiel to tap him down.
Well, it's a little short. That's an interesting call. I don't think this early in the game I would go for it, and Coach Keel's not going to either. I think on a wet night, already down by 7, you can't afford to give them the ball at the 30-yard line. You've got to give your defense a chance to get reorganized, and I think that's what Dave Keel's thinking.
Homestead fans thinking they got a little short-changed on the spot, and my thinking too. It looks like they did not give him a very good spot there, just short of the 25, so it will be 4th down. Good snap, good drive through the football, and this is a very nice punt. Tuschinski will let it bounce out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. Let's see where they mark it at the 34. That's where Germantown will take over. 9:56 to go here in this first quarter. 7-0 on the Richmond 76-yard touchdown run.
Well, we'll see if they can catch lightning in the bottle twice in a row here real quick. They got good field position to start out with. I'm sure Homestead has talked over what happened. We'll see what they can do to correct the mistakes.
Mongan will work out of shotgun, has a slot receiver here to the near side. Richmond lined up in the backfield. They'll drag the wide receiver out. And this time they've got him bottled up. Richmond nowhere to go for no gain.
Well, they're playing man-to-man defense with no free safety. Got everybody up on the line, so they really had it covered. Here's the offensive line for Germantown. Stem, Von Goppel, Johnson, Fretchel, and Lemke. And receivers and backs, Ben Holcomb, Fleischman, Louis Tuschinski, Alec Richmond, and James Hauser.
Mongan, 3-year starter. Really felt that you talked to their coaching staff, really came into his own in the playoff game against Marquette a year ago.
Yeah, and that's carried over to this year. Plus, he's got all that experience on the basketball floor.
Mongan airing it out, coming back to the near side for that football was Ben Holcomb, the split end, and it was thrown short, incomplete.
Well, Holcomb had good position, plus he's 6'4", and the defensive back's about 5'8". Here's the defensive line: Rexigo, Hines, Wickman, and Ryan Stenler. Linebackers: Bryce Yidis, Dimitri Starks, Brett Gemmis, and Xavier Crumpton. And D'Angelo Dantzler, Riley Pelisek, and Tyler Gerke are the DBs.
Crumpton, he's going to be spying on that quarterback all night. That will be his job tonight, trying to contain Mongan. 3rd and 11 from the 34. And Mongan again wants to throw, goes back over the middle. Ball is dropped. Incomplete. Trying to come over the top that time, looking for Danny Studer. He had it, but could not hang on.
Well, Studer was right there, but he got hit, didn't get the handle right away, and then got hit.
It's our guy Crumpton.
Lost it right.
The track guy coming across the formation.
It's really interesting. Homestead is playing man-to-man up there with no free safety. If Germantown can get somebody deep, why that could be a little bit of a problem.
Mooch at a punt. Jay Schneider will let it bounce. And now it comes right to him. He'll pick it up. Tries to circle back. Going to be dumped back near the 20-yard line. Getting there to make the play was Nick Thiel. Getting down there to cover him up.
Well, Schneider grabbed it. I think that was a pretty good play because it was rolling pretty well. It would have gone 5-6 more yards behind him. But Germantown reacted very well and dropped him on the spot.
Well, Homestead's second possession here, trailing by a touchdown early here in this first quarter. Berger gets them set. Again, he'll empty the backfield. 5 receivers going out. Quick drop. Lefty wants to go long. Over the middle, looking for Schneider. It's incomplete.
He had him out there. He just slightly overthrown. But both teams are playing interesting defense. They're going empty backfields and spreading that the other team's defense out and trying to get down the field. I'm a little surprised that Homestead is doing that. They're really more of a running team normally.
Well, you got a couple of steps on Holcomb there over the middle and laid out there nicely. Berger throws a very nice football. Let's get a look at Jay Schneider, the junior. 2nd down and 10 from their own 23. Easterling, the lone man in the backfield, as they'll run Berger out of shotgun. Cole in motion. They try and run it around the left side, and again, good job by the Germantown defense to string it out. Berger with nowhere to go.
I don't think that was the play. I think the snap was high. He was supposed to take the snap and hand it to Shaquille Cole coming across, and that didn't work out, and so he just spun out of the play and tried to make the best of it.
It was Tushinsky who ushered him out at that point. So 3rd, and they actually lost a yard, 3rd and 11 here from the 22. So Homestead struggling a little bit here early on offensively. Berger will hand it off. Easterling trying to pick his way, spinning over the left side. Gets it out shy of the 30-yard line. Going to be short of the first down, bringing up 4th down. Another punt situation here for the Highlanders. Chasen Brown and Sebastian Fisher both there for the Warhawks.
Well, that was a good call. That's a 3rd down, expecting a pass. They ran a little what's called a trap play in the middle, where they pull a guard and come across behind the center and pick off a lineman. And they're lined up to play pass defense, and if you crack him into the secondary, you can sometimes get a long gain.
Good snap. Nice punt once again. Beautiful kick with good hang time. Finally going to be taken there at the 25, out near the 30-yard line, and that's as far as he will get. Tushinsky on the reception. And it was Cole and Sadowski down there on special teams for Homestead as we get another look.
Yeah, that was a great kick. And he almost outkicked his coverage, but they finally got the coverage did get there, break down, and dropped him right in his tracks for no return at all.
So a First Bank first down. And again, we want to thank First Bank Financial Center for being our first down sponsor this season. First Bank Financial Center. Discover the community bank difference. From the 30-yard line, Mongan will work shotgun. Empty the backfield. Richmond in motion near side. Wants to swing it out. Ball short. Was it caught? Yes, it was. Nice diving play by Holcomb to make the reception out across the 34-yard line. Xavier Crumpton out there in coverage with the stop.
I don't think Mongan quite got his. I guess he did. It was a pretty good throw, a little underthrown. But the timing was good. He just needs to get a little bit more on it.
Gain of 4, second down and 6. Holcomb, first-team all-conference defensive back a year ago, and really their best receiver on this Germantown team this season.
Well, at 6'4", he certainly has an advantage on a lot of high school defensive backs, especially the two corners from Homestead are really quite short.
Send Richmond in motion. They'll give it to the fullback, Fisher. Fisher, nothing. Maybe a yard out to the 35-yard line. Benji Wickman there to make the stop.
That was a little counter action. Mongan, after he got the snap, took a reverse pivot and handed back to the fullback coming back to the left side, and he didn't fool the defense at all.
Third down and 5, ball at the 35-yard line. Again, remind you that the Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You can also find our complete game schedule, watch archive videos of our games, even post your own photos. That's my24milwaukee.com. Third and long, 3rd and 5 from the 35. And they'll hand it off. Richmond breaks a tackle. And he's going to come up just a little short, I believe, of the first down as he was able to get out of that tackle, as it was Byron Gray, I should say, who got there on the initial contact.
Yeah, that would have been probably a first down play had he not got into his feet there and tripped him up.
Be about a yard or two shy here of a first down. So 4th down and the punting unit back on. Mucha back to punt it once again.
Well, after that long run, we've kind of settled in here to kind of a heavyweight fight.
Schneider back to receive the Mucha punt. And again, Schneider will let it bounce, picks it up, and he's hit immediately back at the 23-yard line. Dangerous play there for Schneider to pick that one up. And he was hit immediately and brought down by Jason Townsend for Germantown. With 5:02 to go here in this first quarter, we'll take a break. One play, one score. 76-yard touchdown run is the difference. 7-0 Germantown.
Hey guys, here with Jeff Weber, the Executive Director of Enrollment for Wisconsin Lutheran College. Thanks for joining me. Hey, you got some huge days coming up, fall days coming. Tell us a little bit about that.
We do. Last Thursday and Friday of the month, the students have off school because of State Teachers Conference, and we overlay our fall visit days so that parents and students can take a look at campus, visit with professors, college stuff, and it's just a great opportunity for them to see us.
Hey, you guys have done this year two, or year one, the end of the year with you with Thursday Night Lights. How have you guys benefited from this?
Oh, it's been fantastic. We really appreciate the opportunity to partner with you guys and go out into the community and meet the people that are interested in a Christian college destination.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Back to you boys up in the booth.
And Holcomb to knock that one away defensively. He got an arm up at the last second to knock that one away incomplete.
Well, that's where it pays to be 6'4", because he was the receiver was behind him. It was thrown far enough, but at 6'4", he was able to wipe it away and save the play.
Berger stepping into the Chasen Brown that time. So 2nd down and 10. Homestead trailing here 7-0. First play from scrimmage for Germantown, a 76-yard touchdown run by Richmond. Berger hands it off to the fullback, and he is met at the line, may have lost a yard. On the carry that time was Shaquille Cole, the junior, 5'6", 165, and Higginbottom able to bring him down.
Yeah, they were all over that dive play.
Again, these are kind of like the fire plug running backs back there. They're going to get lost behind the big guys up front.
Well, we were kidding Coach Keel that you had to be under 5'8" in order to be a running back, because they got 5'8", 5'6", and 5'4". but they're very solid and they're quick.
Slot left, slot right on 3rd down and 10 from the 23. Berger under pressure, gets it away, completes across the 30-yard line, and then brought down immediately. Shepard with the catch. Danny Olson on the stop.
Well, it's just a little square in route trying to get to the first down marker, but he caught the ball at about 5 yards and needed to get another 5 and couldn't quite get it done. One thing, Berger is getting plenty of time. He's not getting rushed hard by the defense, so he does have time to find his receivers.
So once again, Homestead forced to punt here. A bit of a wind at his back.
They need another good punt again because they are gradually losing field position. And there's another rocket.
Decent, yep. Tashinsky at the 29 and backwards to the 26. Good coverage by the Homestead special team as they get down quickly. It was Bryce Yedis there to make the stop.
Well, Tashinsky certainly got ice water in his veins. He doesn't fair catch, and he's been pressured all 3 times, and has made excellent catches. Hasn't been able to get anything going on the return, though.
47-yard punt that time. So Germantown from their own 26-yard line. Josh Mongan working out a shotgun as Richmond in the backfield. They'll go with a slot receiver here to the near side, and Fisher lined up next to Holcomb. Now Fisher in motion. Mongan wants to throw it out to Fisher. Completes out across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Pickup of about 6. Riley Pelisek there to make the stop. And once again, downstairs we go to Mike McGivern.
They're talking about communication and how they need to communicate a little bit and adjust quicker to what they're seeing out there. Talking about everything we showed you on film is what they're doing. You need to communicate with each other and adjust quicker.
Some good points. That's what football is all about, right, Coach? You got to make your adjustments.
That is the name of the game.
Watch your reads and react accordingly. Tashinsky in motion. They give it to Richmond. Right side across the 35. Should have enough for our initial first down of the ball game. We had one play from scrimmage for a touchdown, and it's been 3 and out for both sides and a first bank first down, it looks like, here for the Warhawks. Pelisek again, the free safety, in on the tackle.
Well, both teams are really, I think, kind of feeling each other out and seeing what they can do. I think right now Germantown had the better of it, obviously, with the long run, but now that this is able to get a first down.
At the 37, 1st and 10, Germantown. Fisher and Holcomb split out here to the near side. Richmond alone in the backfield with Mongan the quarterback. And now movement.
Penalty.
Fisher jumped off the line, and we get our first penalty of the night. Cal Stanky is our referee. Same crew from last week.
Right.
Following us around.
Guys are getting the big money, you know, following the TV crews. Well, I've known Cal for quite a while. When I was an athletic director, he was also a wrestling official. And does a good job.
False start penalty.
Yeah.
Well, this crew is a good crew. They were busy last week,
very
but
busy.
we got some explanations for those early false start and line calls last week, and officials were saying, it's communication, and they were communicating to the coaches what was going on, and the players were still
they couldn't get it right.
Committing the fouls. You're right. So 1st and 15 from the 32 here for Germantown. Fisher in motion to the near side. Mongan wants to pass, complete to Tashinsky, and a nice open field tackle at the point of the reception, as that was Tyler Gerke, the corner here on the near side, the junior, with the stop.
Well, that's a good combination out there. Tashinsky's an excellent receiver as well, but Ben Holcomb has got to do a better job of blocking, and he knows it.
You're talking about Cal Stanky and being the former wrestling official. Pro wrestling is back. Don't miss all of the high-flying, bone-crushing action of Ring of Honor Wrestling Saturday at 9, followed by the Pro Wrestling Report at 10, right here on My 24. That's a pretty smooth segue, huh?
That was good, yeah. A little different kind of wrestling, but we'll call it wrestling.
2nd and 14. Ball at the 33. Mongan has time. Holcomb open over the middle, makes the catch. Holcomb brought down from behind at the 15-yard line. Gerke with the touchdown saving tackle as we get another look.
Well, that was an Aaron Rodgers-like throw. That was right on the money. Perfect spiral. Holcomb had 2 strides on him and wasn't able to make to get away. Went down kind of awkwardly. I thought maybe he might have pulled a muscle, but I think he's okay.
Ben Holcomb, the 6'4 receiver, first team all-conference on the defense last year, averaging almost 22 yards a catch, adding to that with that beautiful reception down to the 13-yard line.
Yeah, that won't hurt his average any, that's for sure.
Mongan will send Fisher in motion to the right. We'll hand it off. Richmond buried in the backfield. Didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. I believe that was Brett Jemis who got in there to make the stop.
Well, the defensive line just overwhelmed the offensive line. They were deeper in the backfield than the ball almost. And that play didn't really have a chance. It was a counter-action play. He had to go across the grain of the defense, and that just wasn't going to happen. They have having better success running straight at it, I think, than trying to get cute about it.
Time's going to run out here in this first quarter. A 7-0 Germantown lead, a 76-yard Alex Richmond touchdown, the difference through one quarter. Thursday Night Lights in Germantown presented by Wendy's. Warhawks on top. Germantown going left to right to start this second quarter. They lead at 7-0 with Mike McGivern and Dick Basham. John Weiser with you. Phil Datka Stadium in Germantown. Mongan, corner of the end zone, and in and out of the hands of Holcomb back there in the back corner of the end zone. Tyler Gerke again drawing the assignment on the big man, Holcomb.
Yeah, it's 5'9" against 6'4". That was a well-thrown ball. I think probably a catchable ball, but Holcomb wasn't able to make that play. Probably if he threw that 10 times, he'd catch it more than he wouldn't, but that was one that he wasn't able to make.
Holcomb's 56-yard reception set them up here in the red zone, but now Germantown facing a 3rd and 13 from the Homestead 15-yard line. Empty backfield, 5 receivers going out for Mongan. Over the middle, Tuschinski could not come up with the catch. Little overthrown that time by Mongan. I think he had a little bit more time than he realized.
Yeah, he might have panicked just a little bit. Tuschinski was pretty well covered.
It was Xavier Crumpton out there on the coverage.
And Xavier has the speed to run with him. Tuschinski is an excellent receiver. He's played all last year as well out there, so he knows what he's doing, but that pass was a little too tight a window to get in there.
Mucha on to attempt a field goal. They'll put it down at the 23. This will be a 33-yard attempt straight on. Tyler Pelskill on the hold. High snap, gets it down. Mucha's kick is on the way, and no good, wide to the left. Hooked it to the left that time, and so Germantown comes up empty. That 56-yard pass play, nothing to show for it, and Homestead will take over.
Well, that was a good stand by Homestead. They needed that. After that long run and a long pass, they've been gashed a little bit, but they've all been fairly solid all the other downs.
Well, they
need to find an offense right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Get their defense off the field.
Backed up on their 20-yard line here as they will take over following the missed field goal of 33 yards. And so they will get it 1st and 10 on their own 20. And that's been the story, too, is the fact that Germantown's winning the field position here. Berger will get them set. Easterling in the backfield next to Berger. Slot receiver here to the near side. Goes in motion far side. That's Schneider. Trying to work the right side and maybe a yard. That's about it. Good defense by Germantown. Danny Olson, that linebacker, stepping up to make the play.
Well, Danny Olson's been around for a while. He played all last year and the second team all-conference. He's got 17 tackles for a loss this year, and that was pretty close to a loss.
2nd and 8. And they send Schneider in motion. They fake the handoff to Schneider, give it to Easterling, and he is buried in the backfield, may have lost those 2 yards. So Germantown defense up for what's going on here with this Homestead offense. Higginbotham, his second stop tonight.
Well, both teams' defensive lines are outplaying the other team's offensive lines, which makes for a defensive struggle right now, and other than that long run. So it could be an interesting evening if we don't get anything going here.
Schneider lined up here to the near side of the field. They'll put Shaquille Cole in a slot here near side. Berger getting them set. Play clock running out, and they did not get it off. Delay of game. They had some confusion there as they brought Cole over in a slot, communicating the play here to Schneider, and so we get a delay of game penalty against Homestead.
Well, that official that you see in your picture there, he stands in the secondary, and he counts with his hand the last 5 seconds of the 25-second clock. They don't have a visible clock in high school as far as the game clock between plays. And I thought Berger had seen him, but evidently he didn't because he took his time under the center, and it was very close to getting the snap off, but it cost him 5 yards.
Dave Keel got the timeout in time before. They did signal a timeout, so it'll be timeout Homestead here. They have 2 remaining in this first half, but they staggered a little bit by that Richmond run off that first play from scrimmage, and Homestead kind of still searching for something offensively here.
Yeah, they have not been get their running game going. Easterling is a very effective runner. He's averaged 105 yards a game for the last 3 games.
Let's go downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, Rachel Kibbe with Boucher. Just want to thank her and Boucher for being involved again on Thursday Night Lights. Thank you. It's been great.
Yeah, this is our 2nd year being involved, and the season went by so fast. We're sad to see it go, but we had a great time, a great season, and thanks for letting us be a part of it.
You guys sponsor the Student Athlete of the Week. Explain what happens at the end of the year.
So each week, 2 students get nominated for Student Athlete of the Week, and at the end of the season, Boucher sponsors a $5,000 scholarship. All of those student athletes go into a pool. They will make a video of why they should be chosen, and we'll have an end-of-the-year ceremony where one student athlete will be chosen for a $5,000 scholarship.
It's Boucher Automotive, always interested in being involved in community stuff. Back to you boys up in the booth.
Well, Berger that time hit as he's thrown. It came up short, looking for Shaquille Cole as we get another look.
Now here you see him dropping back and gets flushed out of the pocket, stops, and seems to have it, but he doesn't get his feet up under him. He did have a couple of receivers, but throwing across the field that far is really a dangerous thing.
4th down, Homestead to punt. Sam Anea boomed off a couple of 40-yarders already tonight.
He's been the most important player on their team right now. He's kept them out of bad field, kept Germantown out of good field position.
It's off another good punt here. Tuschinski will let it bounce, takes a forward roll, and will be downed on the 47-yard line of Homestead. So good field position once again for Germantown.
Now, that's the first time he hasn't backed him up to the 30-yard line on his punts, and 47 yards is a short field. We'll see if Germantown can take advantage of it.
That time just a 27-yard punt. Out to the 47-yard line. That's where Germantown will take over 1st and 10. Early here in the second quarter. 1 play from scrimmage. That's all it took here tonight. The first play tonight, Richmond going 76 yards for the touchdown. Mongan from shotgun has Tuschinski split out here the near side. Now comes in motion near side. They'll run the option play to Richmond. Working left, gets a couple. Hit before he went out of bounds near the 45-yard line. Pickup of a 2. Tyler Gerke in on the stop, and we've got an injured Germantown player.
I think he
Ben Versey, I believe, the center. A little nicked up as he gets back to his feet.
That was a little lead option play out to the left, to the far side, and it looked like that he was going to get the corner, that Richmond was going to get the corner, but it didn't work out. The defense reacted very well. They're playing man-to-man pass defense, and the defensive backs are able to read what's going on quick, and the receivers break down to block them.
Wisconsin National Guard here, as always, each and every week with their football toss and their T-shirt toss that they've got. They do the push-ups after every touchdown, and
Not much going on for them tonight.
We're giving them some breaks here.
Right. From that 70-point game 2 weeks ago, and they had about
we wore them out.
Had about 40 some points last week, so
yeah, they
50 before he got done, I guess.
If they had their monthly maneuvers, they wouldn't need any exercise going into that 70-point performance. Got a Homestead player down at the Germantown sideline. Get a look at the coaching staff for Homestead. Dave Keel had walked all the way across, I believe, to take a look at the injured player.
I haven't got his number yet, so we can't tell you who it is. One of the bigger players.
Yeah, back under his own power. That's always a good sign.
Might be Brandon Hines. No, 54. Have to look that one up. Mike DeGear.
Mike DeGear. Is it 51 or 54? It looks like it's 54. It is 54.
Yeah, right. Like they're holding his hand like he might have did something to his wrist.
Well, before we get set, back downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, listen to the offensive coaches at Homestead. They're wondering to their players out loud why they can't get anything on the dive play. And what they're going to try to do is get their running backs to go vertical and stop trying to cut back against that 44. They're going to try to just go vertical, and they're getting their guards out a little bit quicker. So you're going to watch them trying to run a couple dive plays next time they get the ball.
Again, looking for Fisher, and he barely gets across the line of scrimmage where he is hammered there. Might be our first Boucher hit of the ball game right there.
So, right there.
Riley Pelisek delivering the blow that time. Fisher 5'9", 176. Call him a sub at the running back spot, but he'll interchange with Hauser at fullback every now and then. Big third down here for Germantown. 3rd and 6 from the Homestead 43.
This would be a good stop if Homestead could hold him here and get the ball back. I think Homestead can get the ball moving again if they can get a running game going. That will certainly take the pressure off their passing game. No. Germantown takes a timeout.
Yep, Germantown will take their timeout. So each team burning a timeout here in this second quarter. Play stop with 9:10 to go, 7-0 in favor of Germantown. So a couple of big plays. We talked about Richmond with the 76-yard touchdown run. Ben Holcomb with a 54-yard reception that got them inside the 20-yard line, but Warhawks unable to do anything as they missed the 33-yard field goal attempt. Now the Homestead defense back on this field facing another 3rd and 6 situation here, trying to get the football back, and as you heard Mike talk, trying to get some things changed up on offense here a little bit.
Yeah, it could be a blocking scheme. Both teams are very aggressive up front. They both have good linebackers. And maybe the passing game is the way they feel they have to go in order to get things loosened up a little bit. Because neither team has really been ripping it up with a running game. Easterling's a very fine back. The other two backs get their share of carries, but they don't carry the load.
CW18 has a new comedy to talk about, starting with Excuse, the hot new dating show where love and comedy collide, weekdays at 4 and 4:30. Then at 5:30 and 9:30, Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin star in the Emmy Award-winning 30 Rock. There's new comedy to talk about 5 nights a week on Milwaukee's CW18. 3rd and 6. Ball at the 43 of Homestead. Toshinsky in motion far side. Mongan with time, looks to throw. Holcomb stumbled and fell. Trying to run a go route that time straight up the numerals, but lost his footing. Gerke in coverage.
Well, they got their feet tangled up, the defender and the receiver, and the ball was in the air, but evidently the official thought it was inadvertent and not in. That can happen. I mean, people do get their feet tangled up.
See if we get another look.
That's already happened before he gets on the screen on the shot, but It's unfortunate because he was breaking open.
So 4th down. And Germantown appears to be going for it here. Leading 7-0 with a 4th down at midfield.
Might have a little quick kick here.
Mongan will do just that. Nobody back for Homestead, so that ball's going to roll around. Will they get down to cover? Germantown does. They save it from going out at the 2. Nice job for Germantown getting down there rather quickly. I believe that was Tyler Willard.
Jason Townsend got down and knocked it back. That was an excellent play. I did see him do that in practice on Tuesday, and that was a perfect place to do it.
Beautiful save there. Pinning Homestead back at their own 2-yard line to start this drive. So Germantown winning the field position here tonight. And tell you what, that might be one of the keys to this second half for Homestead. They've got to do something about that. They got to flip that field around.
They haven't shown that they can move the ball yet.
Well, Berger will have Easterling in the backfield. Wants to throw, pump fakes once, little hitch and go coming to the near sideline. It is caught out of bounds by the defender. The pass intended for Steven Shepard. It was Tyler Thiel who hauled it in, but he was out of bounds when he made the reception.
Well, they tried to get a little pump and goal, and they really didn't have that set up very well. The defensive back wasn't fooled, and the receiver wasn't really able to get into the route.
Now some confusion coming out of the huddle here. They get Schneider off the field, get Cole back in there. See if they go back to that quick dive. Or hand it off. Cole coming around, it gets it across the 5, short of the 10-yard line. Gain of about 7 on the play.
Well, that's the Homestead offense that people who have been around for a while are used to seeing, with 3 backs in the backfield and just powered it off tackle.
Mike, what do you have for us?
Hey, guys, talking to the team doctor over at Homestead side, Mike DeGuire is out for the game. Right wrist injury, so he is done for the night.
Well, DeGuire injured on that play on that far sideline, and it's sorry to hear about that. That's another loss here for Homestead, facing a 3rd and 10. A 3rd and 3 from the 10, and they get their first down, a first bank first down. That dive play up over the middle out to the 17-yard line. Tushinsky there to make the stop on Easterling.
Well, as I said, that's the offense you're used to seeing Homestead run right there.
Well, let's see if that's the spark that the Highlanders needed.
It might be.
A little confidence here as they get themselves out from underneath their own goal post here from the 19-yard line, 1st and 10. And this time it's Cole trying to get the edge, strung out nicely by Germantown. May have gotten a yard, but a big wall of blue let out there. Holcomb was leading that charge, along with Chasen Brown, who made the cleanup that time.
Good defensive flow. Keeping parallel to the line of scrimmage. See Holcomb out here.
Running containment that time, and Casey got outside.
Tyler Thiel did a really excellent job.
Thiel did a really nice job sealing that one up. We'll give him a gain of 2, 2nd down and 8, ball just across the 20-yard line. Berger will work from shotgun. Cole in motion far side. Try to hand it off, ball's loose in the backfield, and it's recovered by Holcomb. Ben Holcomb in the backfield almost immediately with the strip job and the recovery, and a turnover for the Homestead offense.
I'll give the credit to Joe Cretlow because he was in the backfield, made the hit. Holcomb followed up with the recovery. Well, I think Germantown needs to make something out of this now. It doesn't do them any good. They've been down there before and got nothing. They need to make this hurt a little bit if they want it to be effective.
See if they go right to Holcomb here in the corner of the end zone. They've got the matchup there that they want.
It was open. It was there last time. He just didn't make the catch.
Gerke lined up in single coverage on Holcomb on that left side of the formation. That's where they're looking. They go back corner. Open catch. Tushinsky, touchdown.
Well, they used Holcomb as a decoy there. He headed out and then he pulled up. and they ran the inside receiver, Chashinsky, on the corner route, and he was very open.
He cut it off, as you saw, near the 10-yard line. Toshinsky kept going back corner, makes the touchdown reception.
That was very well. That was a really nice route, and it was very well run, and the throw was perfect.
6th touchdown of the year for Toshinsky, and Mucha to try the extra point. Sebastian Fisher is the long snapper. Tyler Paulskill is on the hold. And the kick is good. 6:55 to go, 14-0. And Mike, what do you have for us?
Hey guys, listen to the coaching staff on the Germantown sideline. They're talking to the defense about staying up for these last 7 minutes of this half. They certainly, Coach Jake Davis understands that Homestead's been down before. He played at Homestead. He understands you got to play 4 quarters if you're going to have any chance to beat them.
Well, as a matter of fact, they were down by 2 touchdowns to Milwaukee Lutheran about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and in the second half, late in the second half, and they came back and were able to win that game. It's a very tight game all the way to the end, but so they can deal with it. You don't win games for 10 years straight without coming from behind a few times, and that's where they are and what they've done.
Germantown capitalizing on the takeaway defensively, able to punch it in, 14-0, as Schneider and Pelisek stand deep. Mucha, who does all the place kicking and punting here for Germantown. Have a little bit of wind at his back, and he'll drive this one low. Pelisek will finally pick up at the 10, dropped it again, takes it across the 15, out to the 20, still on his feet to the 26-yard line. 16-yard return, wrestled down by Chasen Brown. That's where Homestead will start this drive. So you get a look. That field is wet.
A handle on that, and then he slipped. Was able to recover and get it out to decent field position.
Well, let's see what Homestead can do here. They're down 2 scores now with 6:47 to play, and coaching staff drawing something up as we speak.
Fritz Rauch is the defensive coordinator at the Homestead. Been there for many years, does a great job.
Berger in under center. Easterling, the lone man in the backfield. Movement up front. Brown jumped the neutral zone for Germantown. That'll be 5 free ones here for Homestead.
Don't need to help him, that's for sure.
Cal Stanky, our referee tonight.
This is probably the best down and distance situation that Homestead's been in, 1st and 5. See if they go back to their running game. That looks like they are the 3 backs.
Now they'll break out of that as they'll send Cole and Schneider out to the far side. Steven Shepard lined up near side. Easterling, the lone man in the backfield, with Schneider in motion. Easterling gets the call. Up the middle. Short of the 35-yard line. Going to be about a yard shy of the first down. Nick Fretchel right up front.
He's got very quick feet, a little jump stop, and finds a crack and gets his shoulders down and powers it in there.
2nd and 2, we'll call it. Ball at the 34-yard line. Easterling again, the lone man in the backfield for Berger. Schneider goes in motion. And it's Easterling again. Gets the first down out across the 36 to maybe the 38-yard line. Nice pickup there of 4 and a first down, a first bank first down for Homestead.
Well, you can see how quick his feet are. He stepped out of the tackle by Sebastian Fisher. Had him in his sights, but he stepped out of that tackle and got another 3 or 4 yards after that.
Nick Klashevsky there to make the stop. 1st and 10 Homestead at their own 38. Under 6 minutes to go here in this first half, trailing by 14.
Coach Keel is the offensive coordinator. He's on the sideline, and he's signaling the plays into the quarterback.
Quick drop. Berger lofts it out far side. Schneider nearly had it. It was over his shoulder. Would have been a spectacular catch near the 40-yard line. Keanu Arquette was there defensively.
Yeah, that's a tough catch. He's fading out to the outside, away from the defender. The ball's coming right over his head, and it's easy to lose it in the lights or in your helmet. The visor on your helmet that hangs over your eyes does block the ball out when it's coming over your head.
Schneider with 17 receptions coming into the ball game here tonight. Berger and the Highlanders facing a 2nd and 10 from their own 38. Berger with the draw. Nowhere to go. Brown was there along with Higginbottom, Hunter Higginbottom once again, the sophomore, 6'1", 234.
Yeah, Hunter had a really good reaction there and was not fooled by the drop of the quarterback. Was able to ride his blocker over to the play.
Good vision for the sophomore there. Was engaged in his block, kept his head up, was looking upfield. Loss of 2, 3rd and 12 now for Homestead. Berger scrambling, nowhere to go. Berger down. Back at the 32-yard line, Joe Kretlow and Higginbottom both there once again.
Well, the Germantown defense does an excellent job of keeping Berger in front of him. Here he gets a little pressure, but then they have enough contain on the outside that he can't run with it. He tries to reverse his field. Field's a little bit too greasy, and he wasn't able to get away.
And so Homestead will punt it away again. It's their 5th punt tonight.
Wow.
Tuschinski standing at his own 35. And coming up and then letting it hit the turf. It'll take a friendly roll for the Highlanders inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line.
Well, that's the deepest Germantown has been in their own territory tonight and having to start a drive.
3:58 to go. We'll take a break. 14-0 Germantown in front of Homestead. It's our Thursday Night Lights Real Fan Cam presented to you every week by Wendy's. Wendy's, you know when it's real. And the contingent from Homestead out in force here tonight. And yes, it's that cold. We got deer hunting gear on tonight.
It's a kind of a wet cold tonight. Yeah. It's a lot better than it was 2 weeks ago, I'll tell you that.
Certainly want to bring those warmers in your jacket here tonight. The breeze is starting to pick up as Mongan and the Germantown offense take over 1st and 10, and good surge here by the Homestead defense, stopping Richmond on that carry.
Well, this is where you oftentimes see Homestead take advantage. They get you backed up a little bit, make you punt, and then they get some field position, and they can get back in the game here.
Stendler and Wichman there to make the tackle. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. And really 2 big plays tonight. The Richmond 76-yard touchdown run, and then the defensive play here,
right.
the fumble, and cashed in on the touchdown pass. So as Tuschinski comes in motion near side, 2nd and 11. Mongan hit as he flips that ball out. Richmond trying to get the edge. They have gotten a yard or 2 out of that on that far side. Gerke was there, stayed home defensively for Homestead.
That's that lead option. I think Bryce Edis was right there. No, 97 was Benji Wickman was there to make sure that ball was pitched.
Senior, 6'3", 225, second team all-conference Benji Wickman that time with a little how do you do to Mongan.
Right.
Well, just that quickly, 3rd and 10 now for the Warhawks. Studer lined up in a slot here to the near side as Mongan will work from shotgun. Low snap, picks it up. Delivers the ball. Studer with the catch, coming across the formation, gets the first down out near the 34-yard line. Make it the 36-yard line. They pick up a 13 and a first down.
Well, that's a pattern they ran a little early in the game where Studer got hit right away and dropped it. This time he got a little farther across the formation and had a better chance to catch it.
Pelisek with the tackle for Homestead.
Josh Mongan has had a really good night. He's very relaxed, knows where his receivers are, where to look, and gets the ball out on time. That's really important, especially when you're playing against man-to-man. The sooner you can throw, the better chance you have, because it doesn't give the defensive back a chance to recover from your first move.
This time an I formation look. As Sebastian Fisher trying to weave his way out. Brett Jemis there, the linebacker, senior. Gain of a couple that time. Actually, it was Richmond on the carry. Fisher was trying to lead him out.
Germantown's running the ball just enough to keep the defense honest, and then that's given their passing game a chance to really take advantage when they have second down and it's kind of an unpredictable situation.
Well, you got a minute 40 to go here, and you're facing second and long. I think maybe if you're Homestead, you get a stop here, you take one of your timeouts.
Yeah, I think so. If you can get some kind of points on the board before half, that's something to build on.
Tuschinski goes in motion far side. They throw it that way. Tuschinski with the catch. Stretches for the first down. He's going to be close.
I think he came up a little bit short, but he was one shoestring away from breaking it for a long gain.
Gerke brought him down as we get another look and worked hard to stretch that frame out. 5'11", 175. Louis Tuschinski had a big game against Port Washington earlier this year. Had 3 touchdowns in that ball game.
Well, he's between he and Holcomb, then they are usually on opposite sides from each other. That forces Homestead to defense the entire part of the field. It makes it difficult to double cover somebody as well.
Holcomb lined up here wide, near side. Tuschinski in motion. They're looking right side, ball in the air, looking for Holcomb, trying to come back for the ball, and it's incomplete. Gerke did all he could to stay with Holcomb that time for the incompletion.
Well, he kept inside position on the receiver, kept him, kind of screened him from the ball, and fortunately it was a low throw. He didn't have to worry about the 6'4" guy reaching over his head.
Clock stopped, 41 seconds to go. 4th down here for Germantown. Got to bring the punting unit on here.
Oh, yeah, you can't give him the ball here. One thing I'd say about Josh Mongan, he probably needs to get on those long throws. They seem to be outrunning his arm a little bit. He needs to get that ball in the air a little bit sooner.
Schneider standing inside his own 25, waiting for the Mucha punt, but the officials are going to stop play. It's Germantown that will take the timeout here. They have one remaining.
If they didn't have enough people on the field or just didn't like what they were going to do.
Don't think they were going to try any kind of a fake or a spread punt type of situation there.
When you're up by 2 touchdowns against a team that has done what Homestead has done over the years, you don't want to give them there's an old saying, don't give a sucker an even break, and don't give them the ball in the middle of the field. And I think keep them as far backed up as they can. I'm sure Homestead's got a few things up their sleeve that they haven't shown yet. The
man you just saw there, Dave Keel, has a very deep sleeve.
Yeah. Well, this is his 23rd year at Homestead. He was an assistant coach there before. They've won several state championships. He's won 10 conference championships in a row. The worst they can do this year is tie for this one. If they lose tonight, they would tie with Cedarburg. Cedarburg has 1 loss. Germantown has 2, and I think Milwaukee Lutheran has 2.
Mucha to punt this one away. Schneider standing deep. It's off a nice kick. Schneider has to drift all the way back to his own 12-yard line. Now circles back inside the 10. Look out, trouble there as he's brought down at the 5-yard line. Ben Holcomb, we've talked about him this entire game, playing all 3 sides of the football here. Special teams, offense, and defense, gets down on the tackle.
Well, I thought special teams would play a big part in this game in some way, and right now, Germantown's kicking game has really kept Homestead backed up, and actually Homestead's kicking game has done very well, but they haven't gotten them backed up quite to the inside the 10-yard line the way Germantown has.
Would not be surprised to see them take a knee here and try and get out of here. See what Berger does in under center. He's going to hand it off. This is Cole. Cole breaks a tackle. Cole out across the 20, still on his feet out to the 25-yard line. Nice run that time. 19-yard pickup by Cole, bouncing off a couple of different tackles. Clock will stop while they move the chains as we get another look.
There it is right here, a little off left tackle. You can see they're not, the running backs are not tall, but they got a lot of fight in them, and they got real strong legs. There's another play right there again.
Another strong run, another first down pickup, a 10-yard run by Cole. So maybe they found something here. Holcomb able to bring him down.
Well, you might say, why haven't they been doing that before? Well, Germantown has loosened up their defense a little bit. They're playing a little bit more of a prevent type of defense. And prevent defenses don't always prevent anything, you know. So sometimes the players get the feel that, well, okay, it's a prevent defense. All we have to do is be there. We don't have to make plays, which is why, as a coach, I never played prevent defense.
Oh, you're talking to a diehard Packer fan. We know what 4th and 26
right,
is all about when you play
right.
prevent defense, right?
Right, yeah.
Timeout taken by Homestead here with 12 seconds to go in the half. But still, you got it for your Dave Keel. This is stuff you have to build on right now. These last two handoffs that Cole is able to handle very well.
Yeah, this game is a long ways from over. It's just both coaches will have a lot of work to do at halftime.
A look at Germantown head
that's
coach.
Jake Davis right
Jake
there.
Davis.
Yep. Jake played center for Homestead.
Well, 1st and 10 at the 35. Homestead will hand it off. Schneider comes across the 40. He is belted at the 41-yard line. Holcomb and Olson locking horns there. And timeout taken by Homestead. Their final timeout, stopping play with 6 seconds. Well, let's head downstairs. Mike McGivern, what do you got cooking?
Hey guys, again, listening to the coaches on the Germantown sideline, they're talking about trusting each other. You know what? Trust each other, stand in where you're supposed to be, and know that your teammate's going to make the play that he's going to make. You don't need to come out of your position. Stay in your position. Trust each other.
Trust is a must, or the game's a bust.
You're right, and football is known as the ultimate team game, and that I believe that happens to be true. I know there's a lot of other team games, but it's the ultimate team game because all 11 players are choreographed as to what they're supposed to do, especially on offense. Defense is a little bit more extemporaneous, but offensively everybody is told exactly what to do. And if one guy breaks down, it usually makes it bad for the other 10.
Reading today, I think it was Brian Urlacher was talking about that in the Monday night loss to Detroit. Bears linebacker, he says right now it's just a matter of trying to regain that trust back there. The safeties on that Bear team let them down in that Monday night loss to the Lions.
Well, you talk about breakdowns, that's what they're talking about, that coordination between all 11. If one guy breaks down, it creates a seam, a hole, a vacancy someplace on the field, and a good team will take advantage of that.
Berger from shotgun, the final 6 seconds of the half, now on the scramble. Dumps it off to the sideline, and it short hops the intended receiver. Shepard fell down at the 35-yard line, and that will end our first half here at Datka Stadium in Germantown. 14-0. Germantown with the lead. The first play from scrimmage tonight, a 76-yard touchdown run by Richmond. And then they take advantage of a fumble recovery and get a 15-yard pass from Mongan to Tuschinski. And that's our scoring through this first half. And Homestead going to have to get their act together here offensively. Germantown taking advantage of the quick strike and the takeaway to lead here by 2 scores.
Well, I think it's been a very entertaining half, and we'll see what they come up with at halftime.
So 14-0 Germantown on top of Homestead. We will take a break. Thursday Night Lights presented by Wendy's. Right now, we'd like to highlight a very special student. The Boucher Automotive Group proud to bring you tonight's presentation of our Scholar Athlete of the Week. Joey Brastead, Sales and Leasing Consultant with Gordy Boucher Ford in West Bend, presented our Scholar Athlete of the Week award to Cody Berger from Homestead High School. Cody has a 4.43 GPA and is a four-sport athlete. He's a member of the National Honor Society, been recognized as second-team All-Conference and honorable mention All-Suburban in football, and Cody is active in the community, including coaching youth sports teams. And Joey also presented our Scholar Athlete Award to Lewis Toshinsky from Germantown High School. Lewis has a 3.77 GPA, participates in football, baseball, and track. He was selected North Shore Scholar Athlete, is a member of the National Honor Society, and participates in honors math competitions. He is a four-time letter winner in football, qualified for state in track, and was all-conference honorable mention in football and baseball. Lewis is active in the community, coaching youth football and helping the elderly. Tonight's Scholar Athletes will be in the running to receive a $5,000 scholarship courtesy of the Boucher Automotive Group. One of our weekly Scholar Athletes will then be chosen to receive that award at the end of the season. 14-0 Germantown on top of Homestead. We head to the sidelines and Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, here with the First Bank Financial Center people. Greg Mattson is a home loan lender, and Sherry Shatterberg. That's good stuff at Germantown branch sales manager. Let's start with Greg. Greg and I used to play softball together. He said I was the best softball player he ever played with, I think. Hey, he didn't say that. Let's talk a little bit about what you do and where the rates are as far as if you want to redo your mortgage.
No, it's not a better time to call us right now, refinance, purchase. We're at historically low rates. I mean, you got to do it right away. Call me, call the branch, call one of our locations, but you got to do it right away. Historically low, you should do it.
Historically low, and they're starting to tick up, so now would be the time to do it. Sherry Shatterberg, sales manager, Germantown branch. First and foremost, thank you so much for being involved again with Thursday Night Lights.
Oh, you're welcome. It's great to partner with you guys. It's a lot of fun.
You guys opened your branch in Menominee Falls, and that's just really helped Germantown as far as where your customers can go.
Oh, absolutely. Just adds to the convenience, and they can, if they're going south into Milwaukee, it's just another stop on their way, and it's just been great. Next year, we're looking to build an office in Grafton, so we'll have a presence in Osaki County, so we're excited.
First Bank Financial people, we always have a good time with them, but let me tell you, when they talk community bank, they truly mean they are the community bank, and we really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot. Hey, let's get to a break. Other side of the break, back up to the booth, John Weiser and Dick Basher.
Germantown leading here at the half at Datka Stadium in Germantown. The annual North Shore clash between Germantown and Homestead. 14-0. As we get a look at our highlights, don't blink, you might miss it.
Yeah, this is it. The 76-yard run to start the game by Alec Richmond. Makes a nice cutback right here. Nice cutback and almost gets caught from behind by D'Angelo Dantzler, but was able to make it to the end zone. So Josh Mongan thrown out here to, I think it's fullback.
That was Fisher.
This is the fumble caused by, recovered by Richmond. Caused by, there's the touchdown pass to Toshinsky, second touchdown. This is the punt that was down inside the 5-yard line. This is another long pass to Mongan to Holcomb. Long gain, but nothing. They didn't score on this, and so it was pretty much turned out to be a little bit of a wasted play. It was a successful one.
Cole with a nice run there. They got something going a little bit later in this second quarter with Cole, but Toshinsky again had that touchdown reception earlier as we get a look at our Wisconsin Lutheran College leaderboard tonight.
Well, Shaquille Cole's got 5 rushes for 32 yards to lead Homestead. Xavier Crumpton has had a good game on defense. We called his name several times. Alec Richmond's got 8 rushes for 83 yards, and Ben Holcomb's got a fumble recovery.
That's pretty much the storyline on our leaderboard, brought to you by Wisconsin Lutheran College, Academic Excellence, Christian Leadership. Once again, we go to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, down on the field here with Coach Steve Showalter, the basketball coach at Germantown, his son Zach. Steve, let's start with you. Yeah, this year, certainly with the kids you got coming back, has a chance to be a pretty good year.
Yeah, that's the plan. We're supposed to be pretty good. We've had a great summer. Our boys work hard and they have a lot of fun. Most of them have played a lot of AAU, and we, of course, play together all summer long. So we're excited about the upcoming season.
You know, guys, I fell in love with this team last year watching them. They're just really fun for me to watch, and how they get up and down the court and take care of their business on the defensive end. Zach Showalter's committed to Wisconsin, and he's got big plans for his senior year. First and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
You know, going into your senior year, you understand that you need to take care of your business here as a senior. You guys played together a lot this summer, had an awfully good summer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you said, we've been working out every day pretty much as a team together and playing a ton of ball this summer leagues and AAU. But we've had a great summer. I mean, all of us together on the same team for pretty much both of those teams. So it's going to be a good year, hopefully.
Hey, Coach, your point guard plays quarterback out here, Josh Mongden. He's a really good quarterback, awfully good point guard. You know, you watch him play, and you love watching a kid like that compete.
He's a winner. Zach and Josh and Daniel, some of the boys that are out here, they've been playing together in all the sports together since 4th, 5th grade, and pretty much have won everything they've done through the years, whether it be baseball, basketball, football, volleyball. Josh just loves to compete. He loves to win, and he's a leader out here as well as in the gym over here.
Yeah, you bet. Speaking of volleyball, Zach played football the first 2 years, decided last year to play volleyball. Germantown's got a chance to at least tie for the conference, ranked 7th in the state. Tell me, man, you like volleyball quite a bit, or is this something just to get your hops going?
I mean, the hops are definitely a benefit, but it's fun. I play in the summer a lot when it's nice out and sand volleyball, and I was like, man, I might as well go out for it. I mean, I wasn't playing football because I got hurt however many years before, but I figured why not go out. My brother's on the team, a couple of teammates on the team, and we're pretty good, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, real good. In fact, if you're looking to get to a good game Wednesday at Nicolay, Germantown gets a chance to play undefeated Nicolay, get a share for the title. Last question, coaching your sons now, both boys, correct? Good, bad. It's you and I have talked about this a lot. I coached my son in basketball, and there's a point where you got to say, look, I'm the dad or I'm the coach, and sometimes they don't mix. It seems like the relationship is good, and obviously he's excelled on the basketball court.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's some good days and bad days. Now that Zach's a senior, we understand each other pretty well, and the coach-player relationship is real solid, as well as the dad and son relationship. The young one, I'm not so sure. We're working on that. He'll be a sophomore this year, and he'll be coming up to the varsity, and he's a good player in his own right, so he will definitely help us out, and we're looking for big contributions out of Jake as well.
Hey, last question, one-on-one. You and the coach, who wins that?
I got that any day.
Yeah, no doubt. To go with Zach. Boys, let's get to a break. Other side of the break, back up to the booth with John Weiser and Dick Basham.
Germantown leading here at the half as we get set to start the second half. Again, a big thank you to the great folks at Milwaukee High Lift for helping bring these great pictures to you tonight, as they've done each and every week. They have provided the scissor lift for our cameras tonight, so for any aerial platform need, rental, sales, or service, call the great folks at Milwaukee High Lift or visit them online at MilwaukeeHighLift.com. Well, Dick, we talked at the beginning of the game. You had your keys here set up for the ball game tonight for Homestead. They've got to make some changes here. They've got to get on track offensively. They have not been able to get anything going either in the air or on the ground till late in that second quarter. But as you said, again, dropping 3 back or 8 back and only 3 up front may have aided in that. So what do the Highlanders have to do to get back into this ball game?
Well, they get the ball first here, the second half. They did kick off to start the game, so they'll get the ball. I think they need to establish. They're only down 2 scores. You get 1 score, and then it's anybody's ball game the way I see it. So they need to, I think, get that running game going with their 3-back offense that they've used for years and years. They got away from that to start the game. They used it later in the half, and it was fairly successful. That will give Cody Berger a little more opportunity, I think, to get people open. he's been a little bit of a scatter arm, I think, in the first half. He needs to be a little bit better, a little sharper on his passes, but I think a running game will help him do that. So to me, that's what they need to do. I think Germantown needs to just keep chopping, as they say. Their defense has played well. Their offense has been effective. They've had good field position, better field position than Homestead has, that's for sure. They took advantage of one fumble and got a touchdown. They had a long pass, couldn't convert that. So they could be up 21-0. But to me, it's still a very close game. I'm sure Coach Davis feels that way, and I know Coach Keel feels that way. And it's going to be a very interesting second half. It'll be a great way for us to finish our season. Both of these teams are going to go play in the playoffs next week anyway.
Again, the season wraps up tomorrow night across the state of Wisconsin, and the folks at Stevens Point will sort everything out overnight, and between 9:30 and 10 Saturday morning, the Division I bracket should be released, and then the 6 other brackets to follow. So by at least noon to Saturday morning, they're going to know, everybody's going to know who they are going to face in the first round of the playoffs next weekend.
Well, a lot of coaches are out tonight watching this game, I'm sure, because both of these teams will probably be in Division I. They were last year. Germantown's close to the edge of being in Division I or II. It's all done by enrollment. They take the 232 teams, I believe it is. They list them from the biggest to the smallest, and every 32 forms a new division. They break them up into groups of 8, and that's how they start their tournament. It's a five-game process to get to the state to win a state championship.
Well, some big ball games going on around the area. Some first place battles yet to be decided. And of course, we talked about Riverside winning the city conference. You've got Bradford looking for an undefeated and conference title tomorrow night. They take on Racine Park down at Carthage College. Waterford and Lake Geneva Badger are going to battle for the Southern Lakes Championship. That ought to be a great tussle. You want to talk about contrasting styles, with Coach Bakken at Waterford going up against Lake Geneva Badger. Badger, I believe, has got 4 players with 400 or more rushing yards.
Well, that's a balanced team. They run, that's Coach Hensler down there, I believe, and his dad trained him well. They always ran the ball. They had a full house backfield. And I think he's playing off of that. Only does it a little bit differently than his dad. But the only one I think that's really wrapped it up is Riverside. Everybody else, there are some that are kind of shoe-ins unless there's a huge upset. Waukesha West will win, barring a huge upset. I think same thing for Bradford. In the greater metro, there are 3 teams that are probably could end up tied for first with 1 loss. So it's coming down to the end. It's been a fast season for us, I know, and I think it has been for the teams too.
Germantown to kick it off. Mucha has it teed up to our right. They lead it by a score of 14-0. Schneider and Pelisek awaiting the kick. Again, a 60-plus game winning streak on the line here for Homestead in conference play. Final 24 minutes set to come your way. A low line drive. Pelisek will pick it up, take it up near side across the 25-30, breaks a tackle across the 35, out to the 37-yard line. 27-yard return for Pelisek. He was brought down by Thiel. Nick Thiel there to make the tackle on special teams. Perhaps the best field position of the night to start a drive.
Yeah, it's a good way to start. They needed to. They mishandled the other couple of kickoffs that they had. They didn't get good position here. They're almost to the 40-yard line. And they're out in their full house backfield, so we'll see if they do try to establish that running game.
Cole, Easterling, and Schneider, they'll break that up. Keep Easterling in the backfield, send Schneider and Cole to a slot, left and right respectively, as Berger will go shotgun from his own 37. And they give us to Easterling, and he gets it back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. That Germantown defense up front has been tight all night. Joe Kretlow right there to make the stop.
There's a little handoff right there. Kretlow and Sebastian Fisher sandwich him, and he gets a tough yard out of that. It looked like there was a hole in it. They closed it up real fast, and both guys really dug in on the tackle and didn't give him that extra yard.
And they send Schneider and Cole each to a slot. 4 receiver look with Easterling in the backfield. 2nd down, 9 from the 37. Going to throw it out left side, nearly picked off on that far side. They do complete the pass. It was Thiel, the defender, out there, as Shepard made the catch.
Well, they've been trying to run that play the whole night, and it's been well defensed. I think Thiel, if he had it to do again, probably would have gone for the pick on that because he was right there.
No gain on the play. 3rd and 9 facing Homestead. That's been the storyline tonight. The Germantown defense has been stingy. Easterling will remain in the backfield. 3 receivers here to the right. On the near side as Berger will work shotgun. Speed option, tries to get it back to Easterling, and he's going to go down. Kretlow again breaking through off that defensive end position here on the left side for the loss.
Well, Joe Kretlow started last year, so he's used to, this is 2 seasons he's been playing that position, and he reacted very well to that lead option pitch and was able to get a hold of his jersey and pull him down.
Well, and Nea has boomed 4 40-plus yard punts so far tonight out of the 6. And Tushinsky, standing near his own 30-yard line, awaits this kick. That's another good kick. Tushinsky has to drift back, take it at his own 26. First man misses, 30. Has the wall far side to the 40. And out, still on his feet, circling back near midfield. Beautiful return by Tushinsky.
That was, it was a good kick. He didn't get a spiral on it. He just powered it down there. I don't know if we've seen a better punter this year or not than Ania. He's got a very strong leg, but Tushinsky is also a very good returner. He was able to get to the sideline, and he had a wall set up, but he couldn't quite get entirely to the wall and was able to get it back to the 50-yard line, though.
First Bank first down. Once again, thank you to First Bank Financial Center, our first down sponsor this season. First Bank Financial Center, discover the community bank difference. 26-yard return out to the 49-yard line. 1st and 10 for Germantown. And Richmond scored on the game's first play from scrimmage, stopped right at the line for 1 yard. Pelisek coming in to make the play, the free safety for Homestead.
It's a little counter-type action, and again, they haven't had much success with that. Evidently, they feel they can block that, but they're not quite getting that hole cleaned up so he can pop through there.
2nd down and 9. Josh Mongan, the senior, 5'9", 171 at quarterback. 16 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions on the season, including tonight. There's the 1 touchdown pass to Tushinsky. Shovels it off, right side, going to Richmond. Nothing doing there. The Highlanders had that play read beautifully. Richmond stopped for a loss of 2 on the play. Sets up a 3rd and 11.
Jemas was out there making, they had 2 or 3 guys out there, but Jemas was...
Probably Benji Wickman, too.
Wickman as well. I think Germantown will have more success running right straight at him. This defense from Homestead moves very well laterally, and better to neutralize their speed and go at them and then use that play-action pass.
3rd and 13 for Germantown. Mongan with time. Delivers over the middle. Holcomb over the middle. Makes the catch inside the 10. Down to the 8-yard line. 52 yards.
Well,
Gerke with the tackle.
There. Yeah, I think he waited a little bit too long to throw, but he was able to get it there. Great catch. And they're in business now.
44-yard reception. He had a 54-yard reception back in the first half. 1st and goal, Germantown at the 7. Ben Holcomb, the senior, his 2nd big catch of the ball game.
One thing, Germantown has had the benefit of looking at a tape, I think, from Milwaukee game. Milwaukee Lutheran passes the ball very well, and they've had a chance to look at that tape, I think, and maybe see some cracks in that defense that they thought they could exploit.
Mongan gonna run. Mongan diving to the goal line.
It's close.
He's gonna be short. Just inside the 1-yard line. D'Angelo Danzler, I believe.
Here you can
so we
see
get another
the replay
look.
right here. He drops back to throw. His knee is down at about the 1-yard line. Bring the big guys in and see if they can pump it in there. Full house backfield.
Mongan surges forward. Signal touchdown now for Germantown. Mongan pushing it in from 1 yard out, increasing the lead to 20-0.
This is just straight ahead quarterback sneak for the last yard.
Stem, Von Gompen, Johnson, Fretchel, Lemke, Fleischman. Guys all up front doing the job for Germantown. Mucha to tack on the extra point.
I think the only returning starter from last year is Fretchel. The rest of these, it's their first year starting at varsity football, and they've done a great job.
High snap. Paulskill's going to have to throw for the conversion, and it goes incomplete. Tyler Paulskill took a high snap from Sebastian Fisher, and the timing all messed up.
Right.
Pulled it back down. Dimitri Starks out there on the defense. So get a look there.
Well, that does leave the door open. 3-touchdown lead is a pretty big lead at this point in time, especially since Homestead has not really established much of an offensive threat yet tonight. But they do have some firepower, so but they need to establish something in the next I think the next series or two. Otherwise, it could be the end of that long winning streak.
Well, the big play, the 44-yard reception down to the 8-yard line, and that set up the Warhawks' first and goal from there. Mongan from 1 yard out, getting the rushing touchdown for Mongan now. That is his 5th rushing touchdown of the season.
Well, Homestead is playing man-to-man without a free safety, and what is happening, and Holcomb gets this matchup on a shorter defensive back, and they're able to get him down the field with no free safety help. And that is really, that's a tough situation, and they've been able to take advantage of it twice. And I imagine they'll go back to it again.
Pelisek and Schneider awaiting the kick here by Mucha. So you see 5 plays, 49 yards. A 1-yard touchdown run by Mongan. Mucha will kick this one low. It'll skip to Pelisek. He'll pick it up around his feet at the 15. Out to the 20, 25, out to the 26-yard line. Let's head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, after the score, I'm standing over the Homestead bench watching Cody Berger as he gets his offense together. Coaches had walked away, had coached them up a little bit. And then Cody Berger said to this offense, look, you know what, right now, let's get this thing going. Just relax, and let's hit until the whistle. We're not hitting long enough. Hit until the whistle, and let's get down the field and get a score here.
Well, some good points, and they've got to find something here. They have really struggled.
They need to start by getting a first down. That's been the biggest problem for them tonight. They haven't been able to get any first downs to get anything going.
There's a good surge for Easterling out across the 30-yard line to about the 32. Gain of about 6. We want to remind you that Thursday Night Lights is available streaming live online. Log on to my24milwaukee.com. Click on the Thursday Night Lights link. You can also find our complete game schedule, watch the archive videos of previous games, and even post your own photos. That's my24milwaukee.com. Big hole for Cole, breaks a tackle. Cole across midfield, wrestled down from behind at the 45-yard line by Tuzinski. That is a 20-yard run that time. Good rush that time by Cole. We saw sparks of that late in the second quarter.
I think, again, Germantown, like Homestead on defense, moves very well laterally. You have to run more straight at them. They don't have the big bruisers up there. Just create the cracks. You got those little quick backs. Get them in there and let them run.
From the Warhawk 45, Cole again met in the backfield and dropped for a loss. Danny Olson, the senior linebacker, second team all-conference, making the play.
Well, that was a little counter play to the dive play they've been running, and that takes a little bit too long to develop, and Danny Olson was right there. He read it well and reacted well.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. The ball back at the 46 of Germantown. Homestead, their deepest penetration so far tonight. Play action. Berger swings it out. Looking for Cole, a little bit too far. Holcomb on the coverage on the receiver that time, Shaquille Cole.
Well, he was open early, and Cody Berger got the pass off, but it was again, he's only 5'4", so not a very tall receiver. Holcomb was able to recover fairly well. He also had tight end out there as well.
It was actually Jabri Washington, number 2, the junior. Again, built just like Cole, 5'4", 160.
Okay.
Cole 5'6", 165. So interchangeable parts.
Right.
3rd and 11. They've got Washington split out single coverage left side. Berger, straight drop. Swings it off, complete to Shepard. Shepard breaks the tackle, gets the first down, close to the 32-yard line.
That's what they needed, to just keep it moving.
Tyler Thiel, I believe, out there. Let's see.
Don't go for the home run all the time. That was down and out to Shepard.
Officials are going to stop play here. And we'll take a break as well. 5:16 to go here in this third quarter. 20-0 Germantown in a North Shore battle with Homestead.
Hey guys, here with Tony Krebs from MRZ Promotions. They do everything that we have on, our gear, our T-shirts, stuff that we have, the cups. Thanks a lot for being involved with Thursday Night Lights.
Thanks a lot for having us. We're proud to be a part of it, and we're trying to get as much gear out as we can for all the schools and kids, and the stuff you're wearing, that's what we do.
How long you been doing this?
Me personally, 3 or 4 years. The company's been around over 9, so we're all over Milwaukee in the metro area.
Excellent. If you're looking for some good gear, promotional items, give Tony a call. MRZ Promotions again. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Pleasure to be here.
You bet. Back to you boys up in the booth.
Jabri Washington with a strong run. Tuschinski brings him down. Another first down for Homestead.
Well, one thing Homestead has done the second half here is establish that they can run the ball fairly consistently, and they're getting big chunks of yardage.
Well, they brought Jabri Washington in, a reserve running back, junior. He's been the spark, as this time it's Cole on the counter. Fumbles the football, and let's see if they rule him down.
Might have been forward progress, I think.
That ball squirted out. And very dangerous there. Nick Fritschel making the play inside. His knee was down when that ball came out.
But at 5'4" and 150 pounds, you can't be fighting those big guys too much because they are going to rip it out on you.
Easterling along with Washington and Cole in that backfield. This is Jabri Washington. Stumbles his way inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line. Boy, he lost his footing. And then we got a penalty marker down. Well, I thought Jabri may have gotten a little extra kick in there as he was getting off the pile. We'll have to see. Well, that might be what they call here. It was Arquette that made the stop. Let's follow it all the way through here. Yep, right there. A little knee in the back, and the official saw it. Now they're going to sort it out. Can't lose your composure.
Yeah,
you just got to stay focused. You're just getting something going here, and you got a nice drive going here midway through this quarter. And
see if they do it as offsetting penalties. I think Washington got the first shot in there, but the Germantown player was standing over him a little bit, so we'll see what happens. I guess it's going back, yeah.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, the call against Jabri Washington. So it'll be 15 big ones after the play, moving the football back out near the 30-yard line. They'll spot it at the 29.
Now that's a little bit of rivalry spilling out there, and I'm sure Washington would like to have that back because they certainly had a good drive going. Now they've got 3rd and almost 20. That's a tough situation for Homestead tonight. They have not been able to convert any long yardage situations yet.
Spotted at the 24-yard line of Germantown. My mistake. So it'll bring up 3rd and 19. Berger will work in under center. Washington, Easterling, and Cole in the backfield. And it's Washington. Trying the right side, nothing there. Got to the line of scrimmage and was stood up. I believe that was Klachevsky. Yeah, Nick Klachevsky there to make the tackle right at the line of scrimmage, setting up a 4th down.
Now it's too far to kick. They need more than 3. I think you throw it to the end zone and see if you can get lucky and win a jump ball.
Well, you've started a little something with those inside runs. Let's see if that sets something up on the pass play here on 4th down.
Another possibility here would be a screen pass. I don't see many screen passes anymore in high school football, but it is a very effective play, especially against an aggressive defense.
Washington and Cole will split out wide. Easterling, the low man in the backfield, double tight end look. They'll swing it out. Ball in the air, and it's going to be broken up by Holcomb, incomplete. Looking for Washington on that far side, and Holcomb did the smart thing. Instead of trying to get the interception, just wanted to make sure nobody was going to get that football.
But if he would have picked it up, I think he could have taken it a long ways because there's nobody there.
Stepped right in front of Washington. Good close on that. Yeah. Closing speed, I should say, by Holcomb on that pass. So the 4th down play turns it over on downs to Germantown, and they will take it here with 2.5 minutes, just over 2.5 minutes to play here in this 3rd quarter. Now, get that ground game going between Richmond and Fisher.
Don't get too crazy here. Just work to get first downs, can maintain the ball control.
Mongan will work from shotgun. Richmond in the backfield. He wants to throw. Now pressure. Scrambles to his right. Has some running room. Mongan on the run. Will get the first down out across the 35 near the 36-yard line. Xavier Crumpton finally ran him down, but a pickup of about 14 and a first down.
Well, again, playing man-to-man pass defense, everybody's downfield playing man-to-man. Once he decides to run, nobody can see what's going on. He's going to get a few yards before they can close him.
So 1st and 10 from the 35. Clock continues to roll here, approaching the 2-minute mark remaining in this 3rd quarter. Mongan again from shotgun. Sends Hauser in motion to the right side. And Richmond gets the call, going right up the middle across the 35 out to the 37-yard line. Gain of about 2 sets up a 2nd and 8.
Now the big thing here is the clock is running, and I think right now they have enough points probably to win the game, but in their own mind they don't have enough points. They need to, I'm sure they'll take more if they can get them. They just need to shorten this game as much as they can.
It's crime time in prime time on My 24. Don't miss Stabler and Benson on Law & Order SVU Monday nights at 7. And on Tuesday, there are cases that couldn't be solved until now. You can watch Cold Case Tuesday nights at 7 on My 24. The pitch back to Richmond. Richmond working the right side. Gets out of bounds. Should have enough for a first down across the 45 near the 47-yard line. Call it a pickup of 9 and a first down for Alec Richmond, the senior.
Yeah, that was a little toss play. That what you call a bunch formation out on the right side. Well, you can't see that right now, but just toss it to him and everybody gets a block and he runs to the open field.
Richmond with a touchdown tonight and his first touch of the game. 76-yard run on the first play from scrimmage tonight.
That might be the longest run we've seen all year.
Again, Hauser in motion. Richmond gets the call again. Struggles. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Ryan Stenler, the defensive end, able to make the play.
Well, before that play, Richmond had 12 carries for 93 yards tonight. 76 of them on one play.
Well,
now it's 13 for 93.
I was just going to say.
Just dropped his average by about 4 yards.
See, Germantown, I believe, is going to have to snap it before this clock expires here in the
one
third
more
quarter.
Time, yeah.
Hauser lined up in a slot here to the near side. Richmond in the backfield. Hauser in motion. Mongan going to keep it. Mongan with some room. Mongan
Out across the 45 down to the 44-yard line to close out our third quarter here at Datka Stadium in Germantown. The Warhawks out in front by 3 scores on top of Homestead. Could history be in the making? Stay tuned for the fourth quarter on Thursday Night Lights presented by Wendy's on My 24. Germantown leading going into the fourth quarter. This North Shore battle tonight. And well, before we go any further, let's head downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, the last time Homestead lost a conference game, President George Bush was addressing the nation after 9/11. It's a long time ago. I'm watching the Homestead boys on the bench, the offensive linemen, a couple of the receivers, and it's way quiet. It's way quiet, and I think for them to get back into this, they need to get a turnover, and this offensive line needs to try to take over this game.
Yeah, they need a turnover that has a 6 points added to it, because it's emergency right now.
Well, they got the penetration on that last drive,
now
but then
double coverage on Holcomb out here now too.
They got that last drive going, but that penalty derailed it on the end of the Washington run. Mongan will keep it, dives forward for the first down inside the 40-yard line. I know the question's going to be asked, with Homestead and Germantown, and we talked about it up here. Is it better athletes on the Germantown side, or what exactly are we looking at here? Is it just Germantown geeked up a little bit higher than Homestead, or?
I think the two positions that are making a difference right now is the passing of Mongan and the tall receiver Richmond, and Toshinsky also has been very effective. The man-to-man pass coverage has not worked well for Homestead.
Mongan will hand it off. Richmond met at the line of scrimmage, actually lost a yard. He's getting in there again, Ryan Stendler, defensive end here on the near side, along with Pelisek.
Like I said earlier, I think it was 2 weeks ago maybe, that Homestead played Milwaukee Lutheran, who was an excellent passing team from the spread formation. They, I think, probably exposed a couple things that Homestead struggled with that night. Germantown has had 2 weeks to work on that and work it, and they have the people to take advantage of that, and I think that probably has a lot to do with what's happening so far.
Richmond, as you saw, went off. Looked like he got a little nicked up on that last carry, so he is out. Mongan pump fakes now on the scramble. Josh Mongan tripped up across the 35 out near the 34-yard line. As he going to be short of the first
tackler,
down.
But he saved a long game. But again, that run by Mongan, first of all, he's a very good runner. But that's a result, again, of man-to-man pass coverage. It's all running with receivers, and there's nobody that sees what's going on. And if the front six, the 4 rushers and the 2 linebackers don't take care of business and he gets away, there's a lot of room to run.
Well, another big third down here. They'll stack 3 receivers here to the near side as Mongan will work in under center. Hauser in motion. And Richmond back in, but he's going to be tackled behind the line. Brett Gemus, the senior linebacker, 5'10", 215, brings him down, and so fourth down for the Warhawks. There's Mongan's night so far on the
4
ground.
Carries, 26 yards, that's just in the third quarter. They need to kick it down, get them backed up, make them go 80, 85, 90 yards.
Saw Mongan talking with his head coach, Jake Davis, and probably go with that little pooch kick here, I would imagine.
Well, he's under center. So evidently I would pooch it down there if it was me. I'm an old guy who's conservative.
He's going to roll out. Now wants to throw. Swings it out, completes to Hauser. Hauser struggles, gets the first down at the 25-yard line. A pickup of close to 10 yards. As Riley Pelisek and Xavier Crumpton finally brought him down, they swing it out to Hauser.
Well, they knew what they were doing, obviously. They had the little rollout play. Fullback in the flat, and he was able to make the catch and get the first down.
James Hauser, 6 foot, 216-pound senior, with a huge reception to keep this drive alive for Germantown. And more importantly, killing some time off of that clock. 8:50 to play, leading by 3 scores. Tuschinski on the pitch, coming around left side, trying to gain the edge, can't. Good pursuit by that Homestead defense up front to string that play out.
Good pursuit and also good play by the defensive back on the far side over there. I don't know if that was Dantzler that was able to fight off the block and then get to the line of scrimmage and make the play, actually, for a loss.
Might have been Jemas, the senior, 5'10". He's had a busy night tonight, that linebacker spot. We've called his name out several times tonight. Let's get a look at Coach Davis and his staff for Germantown. Clock ticking away. 8 minutes to go here in this ball game. Mongan from shotgun. Wants to throw. Airs it out near side. Thrown behind Tuschinski, incomplete. Check that. That was number 18 out there on the reception, Jason Townsend. Townsend with 11 catches so far this year, 1 touchdown on the year.
Obviously, Jake Davis has a lot of confidence in his quarterback to make intelligent decisions, and he's been doing it all year. Putting the ball in the air. They really don't need to pass. I don't think they need to keep the clock. I think it's more important to keep the clock running right now than to keep this field position and to complete passes. But they know what they're doing. That's how they got the 20-point lead.
They'll pitch it back to Richmond. Has some blockers. Diving forward, struggles to get back to about the 24-yard line, short of the first down. D'Angelo Dantzler there to make the tackle for the Highlanders. So 4th and 9 upcoming. Tried to stack those receivers out there. They would run that stacked 3 receivers and then try and run behind that.
It's really a better defensive play than offensive play there.
Now whistle, and I believe Germantown going to take the timeout. Stopping play with 7:16 to go. So a timeout taken here by the Warhawks. Gives us a chance to talk about CW18, which is TV to talk about. And tomorrow, Nikita is shocked when she gets a visit from an old friend on an exciting all-new Nikita. That's at 7 o'clock. Then at 8, the Winchesters are put on trial by a vengeful god on Supernatural. That comes your way tomorrow evening on Milwaukee's CW18. 7:16 to play. Germantown leading 20-0. With Mike McGivern and Dick Basham, John Weiser with you at Datka Stadium in Germantown. Rain is pulled out. It has cooled off. The wind is picked up, and the moon is out.
Yep. And Germantown's on the verge of an upset.
They certainly can feel it on that far sideline. And, of course, Homestead losing at home earlier this year to Waterford, week 2.
That was a non-conference game.
Mm-hmm. But nonetheless,
right.
A Homestead loss at home. That just does not happen. Townsend in motion. Halfback pass. Richmond to Tuschinski. Makes the catch out of bounds. Gets the first down. Twice on this drive, they've been able to convert on 4th down. This time, the halfback option. And Pelisek, last man to bring him down.
Well, that was a good call. Well done. They didn't need a touchdown. They just needed a first down, and they were able to sneak it in there. Now the clock, once they snap the ball here, the clock will run again. I think they can get it down under 5 minutes. I think they can feel very confident here that things are going to go their way. If they get a score, I think it's obvious it's going to go their way.
Holcomb lines up in single coverage. They go with a wishbone look behind Mongan, the quarterback. He'll hand it off. Tuschinski, barely a yard. Good play up front by that Homestead defense. David Anderson there to make the stop. A little different that time, trying to give him a different look
right
out of that backfield. And
it's the old wishbone look, but they're not running the option right now. They're trying to use it as a counter offense, misdirection.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. The ball back at the 13-yard line, 6.5 minutes to go.
And they're back to their spread formation.
Richmond alone in the backfield with Mongan. Mongan now has to scramble, being chased from behind, gets it away, flips it out, completes the pass inside the 5-yard line. Let's see where they mark it. Tushinsky again with a nice catch, or was it Townsend?
Didn't see the number. We will get a look here on the replay.
Mongan feeling the pressure that time, able to scramble up, buy some time, and it was Townsend who made the catch.
Yeah.
Yep. The Ansler there, give him the extra shove out of bounds.
Well, I think that shows the presence that Josh Mongan has. Coach Davis talked about that this week when I was talking to him, but his confidence and his cool-headedness on the field. He didn't panic. He just went out there and found his receiver and just dumped him the ball.
Low snap to Mongan, still gets it away, completes the pass, catch is made short of the goal line. Danny Studer with the reception. Crumpton there to save the touchdown. He was right there. We'll bring the sticks in for a measurement here. Tough angle from where we're at to see exactly when they stretch it out. It looks like it's going to be by the nose of the football. Let's see. Yep. First down, Germantown. Make it 1st and goal. Germantown with a first bank first down at the 2. Once again, thank you to First Bank Financial Center. Their sponsorship of our first down marker this year. 2nd year in a row that we've had them on, and we appreciate that. Getting involved with the high school football game of the week. Well, 1st and goal, Warhawks. Ball at the 2. Mongan will give to Richmond, stretches short. Looking for his 2nd touchdown of the night. Richmond scoring on the first play of the ball game. Crumpton there to make the tackle at the 1.
Now the clock is running, and this is going to be the proverbial dagger. I think you can safely say that if they were able to stick it in the end zone here.
Question is, will it be Richmond or Mongan? Richmond gets the call, gets to the goal line.
I think they turned him
touchdown.
Away. Yep, they gave it to him. Yep.
Let's see, did they give the signal? I'm watching the umpire there. He had his arms up, but he's going to be short. He will be short. No gain.
Looked like the field judge came up and gave the signal.
I thought so, yeah. I thought he was giving him the touchdown look.
He can't do that, though. It's the two side officials are the only ones that can signal touchdown.
I think he came running in, holding his fingers out for the 3rd down.
This has been a 10-minute drive, I think.
Very close to it.
Yep.
Richmond again. That's a touchdown, Germantown. Richmond is 2nd score of the ball game, and that might just shut the door here on Homestead here tonight.
Yeah, I'm afraid it did.
Ran right over Pelisek that time to get it in for his 2nd touchdown of the ball game for Alec Richmond. Now has 16 on the year. Over 1,000 yards rushing now on the year for Alec Richmond.
Well, it's been pretty obvious since the beginning of the game that it appeared that Germantown was playing better. I'm not saying that they're the better team, but they have played better tonight. And
Mucha tacks on the extra point, 27-0. We'll step out. This is Thursday Night Lights presented by Wendy's on My 24. Well, a 10-year winning streak in the North Shore Conference in danger of falling here. Germantown with a 27-0 lead.
Well, it wasn't like they lost it in the last second. It's been pretty obvious what has been going to happen for at least for the last 3 quarters here. But you got to give Homestead credit to go almost 10 years without losing a conference game is a difficult thing to do.
Well, it's how you respond now going into the playoffs, correct?
It is. It's all new season, starts over again. These 2 teams could play again in a couple weeks, and it could be switched around.
Pelisek on the skipping football gets it across the 15. Out across the 20, short of the 25-yard line. 9-yard return by Pelisek, brought down by Townsend.
When I was coaching at Marquette, we played Homestead 3 times in the 2000s in playoffs. In 2003, 2004, I think it was in 2008. And this team does not have the linemen that those teams had. They do have good skill players, but they don't have those big old hogs up in front that can dominate. And I think that's probably the difference. If you ask Coach Keel, he probably would agree with that. But they have done a great job this year to win
Schneider,
the 7 games that they've won.
Schneider, the intended receiver here on the near side. Ball overthrown, incomplete. Thiel on the coverage for the Warhawks. But he admitted as much. We talked to him before the ball game tonight, and we're talking about the running backs and how short they were, and and he even said, he even said the same thing. We're just not as tall and big in the defensive and offensive line, and you go through those cycles.
He's a system guy. He's distorted his system a little bit with that spread, but this is really his system right here. What you see there is what they normally do, and that's going to be a long run.
Shaquille Cole running down the far sideline, and he finally gets ushered out of bounds near the 15 of Germantown. Biggest run of the night for the Homestead offense.
But that's the type of thing they've done for the last 10 years for the most part.
Little inside trap play that time to Cole, and he just spits it up and chews him out.
It's like that's Sebastian Fisher that's tracking him down there, it looks like.
Spotted at the 15-yard line. 60-yard run that time by Cole, and this time stopped in the backfield for no gain, maybe a loss, is Schneider.
That long run probably got Germantown's attention a little bit. They might have relaxed a little bit, thinking this game is over, and it might be over score-wise, but it's not over.
It's Chasen Brown who made the tackle there for loss of 1. 2nd down, 11. 3-man backfield. Berger landed off Schneider again. Trying the right side, and again stacked up at the 15-yard line for no gain. Warhawks want to preserve the shutout. Well, that certainly would, I would say. Not only did you knock off a team that had one of the longest conference winning streaks in the state, but to shut them out. That's the motivation right now in that Warhawk defense.
And you want to carry that momentum into the playoffs, that's for sure.
Single back look here on 3rd and 10 from the 15. Berger wants to air it out. Fade route looking for Shepard. Incomplete. Tyler Thiel with Shepard step for step here in the near corner.
Shepard might have lost the ball. I don't think he saw it.
Again, you're looking back into the lights.
He didn't act like he saw it anyway.
See his reaction here. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he didn't see it. Yeah, because that was thrown perfectly right into the corner, right where you want it.
And we got a stoppage of play here with 2:51 to go. Timeout taken by Homestead. Facing a 4th and 10 at the 15. Well, I guess if you're Coach Keel, you find your play now, your best play that you can run that will get you a touchdown here with 15 yards out.
Yeah, I think you'd like to score. You know you're not going to win. I think you want to get some momentum back going into the playoffs. Everybody's going to be playing again next Friday night. And they can – this is all history. It's 0-0. Everybody has the same record to start the playoffs. So that's what that's going to be their focus right now.
Just amazing. Jake Davis, his first season as the head coach,
Right.
and something Phil Datka hadn't been able to do in the last 10 years
Right.
was to beat his
That's
counterpart,
amazing as you
Dave
look
Keel.
back in that conference that somebody hasn't been able to. And I know they've escaped Whitefish Bay a couple times. There's been a lot of games where they pulled it out. And we once at Marquette had a 47 game streak in the 80s, and that was 7 seasons. And I can tell you there were more than once where we were lucky to win. And once of them was against your old school, Kenosha St. Joe.
Yes.
They had us. We won 7-0 in a game we had no business winning, but that's what happens when you have a long streak. You have some good bounces that go your way, and tonight it wasn't meant to be. Homestead's getting beat by a better football team, even though Homestead has beaten the 2 teams who beat Germantown in the conference.
Bob Freund's sitting at home watching tonight. I'm sure remembers that. That was his first go around, I believe, with St. Joe's. Well, 4th and 10 from the 15. Berger trying to go over the middle. Pass is tipped, knocked away, incomplete. Shutout intact for Germantown.
Well, you can see by the reaction on the Germantown sideline, it meant a lot to them to not let them score here.
Not sure who may have gotten a hand on that one. Danny Olson or Hunter Higginbottom.
Yeah.
One of those two got a piece of that one, and Germantown 2 minutes and change away from shutting out Homestead here tonight. Let's get another look.
Here it is, right
there, yeah.
Happened too fast. We couldn't pick it out.
Right at the line of scrimmage, that play was knocked down. Germantown takes over on downs. They'll just hand it off. Dive
Straight
play
ahead.
right up the middle, straight ahead for a yard.
Run the clock.
Richmond on the carry, 2 touchdowns tonight. Ryan Stendler had a pretty darn good ball game defensively for Homestead tonight.
Yes.
5 tackles tonight. Well, it all really hinged, I thought. You hate to say it, but that first play from scrimmage tonight,
Wow.
Coach. I mean, the 76-yard run by Richmond, and Homestead kind of been backpedaling all night.
They have. They just cannot get anything going consistently.
Mongan taking as much time watching the back judge, waiting for him to start counting it down on the play clock. And again, diving forward for about a yard or 2 is Richmond. 1:50 remaining in this one. Brandon Hines credited with the stop on Richmond.
But now it's just a matter of, as I said several times, keeping the clock running. Everybody keep their cool. Don't need any tempers flare. We don't start punching somebody, because you get kicked out, then you miss the entire playoff series if you get kicked out in this game. That's the rule. And you certainly don't want to do something stupid like that. And I don't believe both teams are very well coached, and coaches have good control of their players. I don't think anything like that's going to happen.
Richmond again goes down, short of the first down, near the 21-yard line. Gain of 2 brings up a 4th down. And they will have to at least snap it one more time. Pelisek on the stop. He's had a busy night tonight, too. 9 tackles tonight for Pelisek. One of the bright spots on that Highlander defense, but Mucha will come in to punt. There you get a look at Richmond and Mongan. They've waited.
They went for the block, but they weren't able to do it.
Schneider will pick it up
He's
in his
not
own
going anywhere.
44. Nope. Too many blue shirts down to cover him up. As coming in, making the play, Thiel.
Well, I think they'll run one play probably and call it a night.
Well, history made here tonight. For the first time in nearly 10 years, Homestead will be on the short end of a North Shore score.
Looks like we have a penalty here.
A holding call here
Holding
against
on
Germantown.
I think they'll take the ball right where it is.
It was prior to the kick, so therefore there was the decision to be made whether to accept re-kick. Instead, Homestead will take the football right there at the 44-yard line. Jake Davis, in his first year as head coach for Germantown, has pulled off a stunner here tonight.
Dave Keel told me an interesting story about Jake. When Jake was I think it was his sophomore year, he was the center. Might have been his freshman year, I can't remember. One of those two. He was playing center in the state championship game against Marshfield. He broke his hand, right hand, snapping hand, early in the game. He told his quarterback. Quarterback said, I can't do anything about it. So he didn't tell any of the coaches, didn't tell the team doctor. He played the whole game with a broken hand. Tells you the kind of guy he was, and he's obviously off to a great start as a coach as well.
Shaquille Cole with the first down. Homestead will take a timeout, prolonging this one just a little bit.
I'm a little surprised they did that.
Nice stopping play with 19 seconds. Let's get a look at Dave Keel right there with the headset on.
They're going to try to score. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just kind of surprised that you would prolong the agony. Maybe it's not agony, it's just a chance to play some more football.
Well, both these teams then will sit it out till Saturday morning,
right.
Find out where they're going to be and if they will be hosting and who their opponent will be.
Right.
All play will end then Friday night, tomorrow night, and then the folks at Stevens Point will sort everything out at the WIAA. All 7 divisions will then fill the 32-team field, and state tournament play gets underway next weekend. 1st and 10 from the Germantown 40. Berger wants to air it out, overthrows, incomplete. Arquette there on the defense for Germantown. Jake,
just a little post route.
Jake Leannan was the intended target. First time he's seen the ball come his way tonight. Clock stopped with 15 seconds to go. What a way to wrap up our Thursday Night Lights. A history-making moment here tonight. Now what do we have? Germantown taking a timeout.
Wow.
They were confused defensively, and the look on Jake Davis's face will say it.
Yeah.
A little discouraged there.
We're having a hard time getting this game over. We got 15 and a half seconds to go. It's 27-0. I'm a little surprised by all this strategy here. Now we're going to get this last 15 seconds in. I guess there's a lot of pride involved. I can understand that.
Exactly. I mean, you've got a lot of emotions running through that coach right there. I mean, he's taken over for a Hall of Fame legend here. He played for a Hall of Famer in high school. He played for a Hall of Fame coach at Whitewater. And assistant coach with Lance Leopold out at Whitewater for a while. And
he's had a lot of good mentoring. And also he told me that when he applied for the job, there's 3 coaches on the staff that applied for the job. He was able to get it. The other 2 coaches are still with him. Steve Tenney's is the offensive coordinator, was one of those who applied. And their offense has played very well tonight. So congratulations to Dave Keel and Homestead for their long streak, and congratulations to Germantown tonight for a great win.
Berger fakes right, throws left, ball in the air. They turn around, bounces off of Holcomb looking for Schneider. And it went off of Holcomb's shoulder, incomplete.
That's a pretty good analysis of what has happened tonight. Things just haven't gone right for Homestead.
So 3rd and 10, play stop, 9 seconds to go.
Let's give Dave Bransky, who is the defensive coordinator at Germantown, a pat on the back too, because his defense has played very well and has shut out Homestead, at least to this point, with 9.7 seconds to go.
Berger changing the play. Straight drop. Looks to throw, far side. Couple of receivers out there. It was thrown over the head of Schneider. Was trying to run under that one at the 10-yard line. Could not catch up with it. The incomplete pass stops play with 4 seconds to go. A 4th and 10 at the 40. Jacob Herman out there in coverage for Germantown.
Well, this will be the last play, one way or the other. If Cedarburg wins this weekend, then they will tie with Homestead for the North Shore title. And I think they play Nicolay, if I'm not mistaken. That's probably a game that's winnable.
Berger up the middle. Trying to get to the end zone. Still on his feet. Knocked down inside the 10, and our ball game is over. History made at Datka Stadium as Germantown has ended the North Shore Conference winning streak of Homestead here tonight. 67-game conference winning streak coming to an end. 27-0 Warhawks, your winner.
Well, it was pretty evident from the get-go that Germantown was playing better. And I think I can safely say they're probably the better team. It appeared to me that they are around defensively. The receivers a little bit better. I think Mongan is a terrific quarterback. He's got great presence on the field. He completes passes. He has very good receivers. And I think the score probably is indicative of how the game went.
At Germantown, we talked about it. Coming out of the half, just better athletes on both sides of the football. They got the plays on special teams. They've got the recovered fumble that was cashed in for a touchdown, and the first play from scrimmage tonight. Right. They set the tone for the evening right off the get-go, and just had Homestead backpedaling right from the very first offensive play. That 76-yard touchdown run by Richmond. Pair of touchdown snipe for Richmond. Mongan throwing for a touchdown. Tashinsky, the receiver, doing very well. I mean, it was just across the board, just better athletes when you line them up person to person.
The individual matchups at some positions were really in Germantown's favor, and they were able to take advantage of it. So that's not always the case. You might have a good matchup in your favor, but you have to be able to take advantage of it, and I think they did that. Plus, their defense really took Homestead out of their game. They couldn't consistently do anything that they wanted to.
Handshake line completed, so the Germantown football team crowding around their coach Jake Davis, getting set for their trophy presentation, week number 9 here at Thursday Night Lights, and getting ready for that downstairs. We had Dave Ford, the general manager here at My 24 and CW18, along with Mike McGivern, getting ready for the They are ready, so let's head down to Mike McGivern for the presentation.
Hey guys, here with General Manager David Ford from I-24, Jake Davis from Germantown. Coach, first and foremost, congratulations. Great win for you guys.
Thank you very much. I'm really proud of the boys. They did the job and they got it done. They did an excellent work here, guys. Great job.
David, if we can do the presentation.
Coach, I want to thank you for letting us be a part of history tonight in Germantown. It's a big winner for you guys, and it was an honor to be here. Thanks for having us. Congratulations.
The 67 conference game winning streak comes to an end for Homestead here tonight. Germantown on their home field knocks off the Highlanders by a score of 27-0.
Well, now they can start over next year with another one.
We'll step out, take a break. We'll have more from Datka Stadium in Germantown after this. The Warhawks a winner tonight. (27-0) Germantown knocking off Homestead tonight, ending their 67 game win streak in the North Shore Conference. And let's go with our Players of the Game award for this evening.
Alec Richmond from Germantown runs the first play from scrimmage, 76 yards for a touchdown, doesn't look back, makes a nice cut right here. And he had 21 carries for 102 yards for the game. It puts him over 1,000 yards for the season. And he's the player of the game for Germantown. Here he is again. Sweeper on the right side late in the fourth quarter.
Alec Richmond.
Zone play up the middle. It was a real true team effort, but he set the tone early in the game that this was going to be a different night.
And for Mequon Homestead tonight?
Well, it's for number 8, Junior running back Shaquille Cole is 5'6", 165 pounds. He'll be back next year. He had some nice runs straight up the field, but they weren't enough to do any damage, significant damage. There he is again off the left side. Long run later in the game, but the Germantown defense wasn't going to be denied, and they did shut him out.
So Shaquille Cole from Homestead, Alec Richmond from Germantown, our Players of the Game award brought to you tonight by the Wisconsin National Guard. Let's head back downstairs to Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, talking to Josh Mogden, the second Mogden I've got to interview this year. His mom's the principal at Sussex Hamilton. I've been a fan of this young man for a long time, on the football field, but on the basketball court as well. Any coach I talk to about him says the same thing. He's a competitor, loves to compete. You know, as a quarterback, they've beaten Homestead now twice in a row. Josh, congratulations. That's a good feeling for you.
Yeah. I'm speechless right now, to be honest. Like you said, they haven't lost since 2001.
Right.
I just hearing them yell, it just makes me so happy right now.
You know what? Your offensive line did a heck of a job today protecting you.
Oh my gosh. Best game by far this whole year. They've grown up so much. I remember first game, Coach Davis was getting at them all the time. Now, didn't have to yell at them at all. They were fabulous tonight. They were players of the game.
No doubt. And defensively, shutting out a team like Homestead, you know, not enough can be said about the way those kids flew to the ball tonight.
Yeah, our defense is the catalyst of our team. It always has been. They get the offense going. We started off hot, and then we started struggling, but our defense kept us in it, and they're the reason we won.
Hey, congratulations. Get back to the team. Well done.
Thank you.
Hey, boys, back to you up in the booth.
Mike, nice job as always, and thank you for all of your work downstairs for us this season on Thursday Night Lights. Fourth shutout pitched by that Warhawk defense this year. You remember, you go back to the beginning of the year, they had just shut out 3 of their first 4 opponents, Whitnell, Hartford, and Grafton, all getting the whitewash, and it was the Bay game, the Whitefish Bay game, that may have turned their season around a little bit. That's when Davis got after his team a little bit to get back into focus, and they've been on a roll ever since.
Yeah, they went 56-0, 42-0 to start the season, and then they stumbled against Whitefish Bay, 42-0 over Grafton, and then stumbled again, lost by 3 to Cedarburg. Both teams who have been beaten by Homestead. So it's really, you can't go by comparative scores and stuff. That's the way it is. But they then knocked off Milwaukee Lutheran 56-35. So their defense has been porous at times, but it's also been very tough, and it's you want it to be tough at the end of the year. That's for sure.
27-0 Germantown shutting out Homestead, ending a 67-game North Shore Conference win streak by the Highlanders here this evening. We will step out. We'll take our final break, back with some final words from Datka Stadium after this. Thursday Night Lights presented by Wendy's. History made here tonight at Datka Stadium in Germantown. The homestanding Warhawks shutting out Homestead 27-0, ending their North Shore Conference consecutive win streak at 67 as we get a look at our leaderboard tonight.
Well, they didn't have a lot of offense, but Shield Cole did have a good night. He had 10 carries for 120 yards. That's 12 yards a carry. Riley Pelisek on defense, their free safety, had 9 tackles. That's not good when your free safety is getting that many tackles. Alec Richmond, 21 carries, 102 yards, 2 TDs, went over 1,000 yards for the year. And Ben Holcomb had 4 tackles, had a fumble recovery, and knocked down 2 passes. In addition, caught several other passes. He had a really good night. He's a great player, and big reason they did what they did.
That's our leaderboard, brought to you by Wisconsin Lutheran College, Academic Excellence, Christian Leadership. One more time, let's head down to the sideline and Mike McGivern.
Hey guys, here with General Manager David Ford, My 24. David, year 2 on Thursday Night Lights been great. It's been quick.
It went quick. It's 2 years. It's been really a lot of fun for everybody. We want to thank you guys at 1250, all the work you've done for us, Mike. Dick and John, couldn't ask for more from them. Our sponsors, the National Guard, our friends at Bridgman Foods, Wendy's, Perkins Chili's, Wisconsin Lutheran, the folks at Boucher help us give scholarship money to a lot of kids. going out into these communities, being supported by all these schools and so forth. We couldn't ask for more. Looking forward to doing it again next year and expanding out and doing even more of these things going forward.
You know, it really is the community aspect. When we talked about this 2 years ago, and you said, look, we're going to make this community program and the community get behind it. You know, I've heard that before, but you know what? I believe you now. These communities really did get behind this.
Well, we've been able to deal with a lot of schools, a lot of wonderful people. We've seen mayors, superintendents of schools, met a lot of nice kids, met a lot of wonderful people. It's been great to get out of the building, get out of, TV stations. We're in a building a lot of the time. This gets us out in the community. We've been able to go all over the greater Milwaukee area and looking forward to continuing doing it.
Well, I know I'm speaking for Dick Basham and John Weiser. Thanks a lot for letting us get involved. You need to, when it's a rain game, get them out of the booth every once in a while. Boys, for the last time, back to you up in the booth.
All right, Mike. He's just not going to let that go.
Yeah, no. Well, we're not as tough as he is. Those basketball guys are just tougher than heck.
Being the old guys that we are, rain just ruins everything.
Maybe we're smarter. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but it's been a blast. Year
Yeah,
two
really
of this,
has.
it's truly been fun, and it's been a labor of love, and we all enjoy what we do up here. And again, it can't be done without our terrific crew that's behind us each and every week. A big thank you to our producer, Paul Rudolph. Cosmo Traficante, Kaz, you've done a great job here, second year as director of our programming here for On Site, and the Indiana crew, the Milwaukee crew here, and of course Dave Ford, Coach Kelly, our spotter all season long, and our stat people, Josh and Dan, and everybody who's taken part in that really helped put this all together. Makes us look good up here when we're on air.
That's all we do is watch, and we get to have fun watching a game and telling people what we see. And we've had several good games this year. We had a couple that got a little away. The 70-0 Riverside game and the Cudahy game got a little away. But otherwise, I think we had really competitive games, and we got to different communities. Nobody was on twice this year. Our first year, we had a couple teams that were on twice. Next year, we'll probably rethink that. We did, because of that, there's some couple games we didn't go after that we could have. I think I'm most disappointed about is we didn't get Waukesha West on either of the 2 years, and then we tried, but we just couldn't get it worked out. And I'll guarantee you they'll be on next year. There's some other teams that I'm sure that we haven't had on yet. They're very quality programs. Greendale comes to mind. They're a good program. We haven't had them on. Some of the other teams in the Metro Conference yet we haven't had on. Some more Classic Conference teams. We haven't had a Racine team on yet this year either of the 2 years. So we've got a long ways to go, and with only 9 games, next year's down to 8 games in the regular season. That'll make it a bigger challenge even. Possibly we'll maybe try to get some playoff games. So if that's the way we go, then we'll extend our season as well.
Speaking of playoffs, real quickly, your thoughts going into the playoffs. Who looks like a solid contender for Madison? Well,
I would, right now I'd go with Waukesha West. Nobody's beaten them, and they did take care of Arrowhead. It's a very tight game, but Arrowhead's a real quality team. Kenosha Bradford, we saw them. They're very good. There are some teams up in the northern part of the state that probably have something to say about this. In the area, Muskego, I wouldn't count them out either. They did lose to Bradford. Arrowhead, of course, you have to contend with. Again, somebody's going to have to play them. Over in Madison, I'm not sure. Middleton has got 1 loss, I think. Appleton area has a couple good teams. Manitowoc is undefeated, and they for back in the 80s, they won 3 state championships in a row. So here are some of the highlights from the game tonight as we sign off. That's Shaquille Cole there. This is Mongan on a long pass to Ben Holcomb, it looks like, down to the 5-yard line, set up their third or fourth touchdown.
Well, season 2 in the books for Thursday Night Lights. It has been a pleasure for our entire crew, for Mike McGivern, Dick Basham, John Weiser, and everyone involved with My 24's Thursday Night Lights. And a big thank you to Wendy's. Thanks for tuning in. Germantown with the win tonight, knocking off Homestead, knocking out their 67-game win streak. Until next season, so long, everyone.